Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. For today's guide on how to watch the SAA take on Bristol tomorrow night at 9:30 South African Standard Time. And unfortunately, there's no free-to-air broadcasters showing the game. It is being shown exclusively on SuperSport or Bears TV or Bristol Bears TV. Which is known as Bears TV. So, so in terms of how to watch the game, we're going to sort of go through exactly stuff like that. Before we do that, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So, last week, it was very easy to watch the game. It was being broadcast live on Virgin Media Sport. However, this week, it is not being shown on a free-to-air broadcast. There are therefore only two ways you can watch this game. First of all, if you're in South Africa, it is being shown on SuperSport. They are the official. They are carrying the rights for South Africa and as well as also the SuperSport territories. However, if you are not inside one of these territories, you can watch the match using a match day pass for Bears TV, which is £5, equivalent to about $100. But the big sort of catch-22 is you cannot access, from my understanding, you cannot access Bears TV from the SuperSport countries because they do have those rights. So if you want to watch the match and you don't, and you've got two options. First of all, you either watch it on SuperSport or else you're going to use ExpressVPN. A big shout out to ExpressVPN who are sponsoring this video. You're going to connect to a UK server, so you're going to download it in the description. You're going to connect to a UK server like that, and then you're going to go to Bears TV over here, which is what it looks like, and you're going to go buy yourself a match day pass for £5. That's unfortunately the only way you can watch the action on Thursday. However, if you cannot watch the action, don't stress. We will be doing a live watch along. We will have a tracker, for example. We'll have the live score and stuff like that. So we will be giving you guys as detailed coverage as is available and without actually watching the match for free on YouTube over here. So make sure you come and join us for the watch along on Thursday. Promises to be a very interesting game. And hopefully the South African Ace guys really do stand up and put in a much improved performance from the one we saw last week. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Apart from that, please do smash like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And I'll see you guys all on Thursday. Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And the South Africa A team has just been announced to take on Bristol Bears this Thursday. And should be an absolutely epic clash. Quite a few changes as well. And the first ever senior start at fly half for Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu. But into the SAA side, into the starting lineup, and in at 10. He's only ever played at 12 at this sort of level, for the Stormers. And the last time he played 10 was actually for the SA under-20s. But he does start at 10 in one of quite a few changes to the squad, going with a 6-2 split as well, which I think sort of really does play to the strengths of the squad. And they need a much more improved performance. And quite a few players being rewarded for their form off the bench, and a couple of players dropped out of the 23. So we wait to hear what the explanation is. Before we look at the team, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. In terms of the lineup, this is how we will be lining up. Now, there are a few changes. First of all, in the front row, Thomas Toy will continue to captain the side. However, they do have a new hooker starting with Andre Hugo Venter being given an opportunity next to Intuku Nkunu and Thomas Toy. It's the same lock combination that took on Munster last week of Jason Jenkins and Ruan Nokia. However, Marco Verstappen, who, again, we didn't actually know if he was actually even on tour, he does start in that loose trio next to Albert Lowe, Jean-Luc Dupré. So coming in for Pepsi Boutelez, in what is probably a much well-rounded and a much more balanced loose trio. Then Grant Williams, after a very impressive cameo off the bench, comes into the starting lineup next to Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu. It should be a very exciting halfback pairing. The rest of the backline is the same, except Gianni Lombard has come into the side at full back. As a result, Johan Goosen has dropped down to the bench. The 6-2 split is JJ Kotze coming in, no Joe Streber in the 23 for this week. Superior Mantanzima and Mornay Smith. The two props there. Mornay Smith coming in for Sally Sunday. Dan Dupré, Sikamoze Noche on the bench as well as same as last week. But Pepsi Boutelez just drop in there as well. So, we got a lot of options for forwards off the bench. And I thought Sikamoze Noche was a very impressive coming off the bench last week. Sananda Humber starts in, is there on the bench as a scrum off and fly off potential replacement, but more into the traditional scrum off replacement. Johan Goosen as utility back covers 10, 15. You've got Feinberg and Zulu can go into 12. Johnny Lombard can go into centre as well. So it's a very easy 6-2 split to manage because there are so many players. But yeah, Leon Zassin and Hartzenberg still starting. Cornel Hendricks, Henkov and Beck still starting. And hopefully we'll see a much improved performance. This side has now been together for another week. They've obviously trained probably on Saturday, potentially Sunday. They will have trained today. They'll train tomorrow as well. So it's got one more time for them to really sort of click into gear. Even though somebody like, for example, Fame Zulu will only have had sort of 2 training sessions with them, the rest of the side will have definitely had a lot of time to brush up on the defensive patterns, for example, something which you could see they were struggling to sort of get used to. And they've got to put in a performance. I think a lot of people don't really mind the result as much, and I think it was the same as last week. I don't think people would have mind the result. It was the performance with it. Not only did we lose, we didn't play well. And that's kind of becoming a bit of an issue. And I think when it comes to an SAA squad, there is a lot, for me, there's a lot of justification for them not necessarily gelling because the RSI have been thrown together. And they're also, unlike a Barbarian side, they're not really necessarily coached to win. They're more sort of coached to try and implement the game plan and the style of the Springboks, which is one that takes a long time to get used to. And the whole idea of this SAA side is to give these players opportunities in game time within a Springbok setup so that if there are injuries or when they're ready, for example, they can then fit into a Springbok team a lot easier than they would if they were coming in completely fresh off the back. So that is the purpose of this. That is why it will take a couple of matches and it'll take a bit of time for these players to get used to the system. But we do need to see improvement. We've got to see a much better performance this weekend. We need to see a better defensive performance. I'd like us to see what is a very exciting backline. You running the hats. And Zulu, Hendricks, Lombard, there's a lot of good players there that can get this backline going. Get Henko and Bake involved. Get Cinnamon Hartzenberg and Leon Zass involved. I think it's a very nice pack. I think that pack should be able to give us a good platform. Markov and Staden should be very good at the breakdown, so that'll be a big boost to the SAA side. It's a very good side. I think it's a very balanced side, probably a bit more balanced side than last week, for example. A couple of clues is, for example, Marcus Staden, I mean, we didn't even know he was around, but interesting that he's coming to the SAA side and not gone into the Springbok side where he was, supposed to. And obviously none of these players will be involved against Italy, so which we didn't expect too many of these players to be involved, to be fair. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the team down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.
So yeah, please raise your hands if you have any questions, and we can get cracking. Justin?
Thank you, Zina. Good afternoon, Coach. The question for you, a bit more time allowed with the team and the squad, the bigger squad, post, obviously that other match last week. Sort of what were the key focus areas for you guys ahead of the Bristol match this Thursday, please?
Yeah, Justin, I think the key thing for us is, of course, to get better from where we were last week, and like I said last week also, it was not an excuse. We knew the challenge that we will have, that we won't have all the time in the world to prepare, So at least now we've managed to get 2 more extra days to be able to add on how we want to play, So it is what it is. So I won't make any excuse about it. So the key thing for us was to get better on the things that we did last week, more especially if you look at how we attacked. When we got an opportunity to get a 22-meter entry on Munster's field, the forwards, they really had a proper game, and how they carried in the meters and how physically they were dominating. I think where we were guilty was the game management. I'm talking about we put ourselves in the right places. I think we tried to play too much rugby in our half, and the conditions also didn't allow, and then we made silly errors there, and that put us under pressure, and we committed some penalties. The discipline was also not solid, and to give a team like Munster 22-meter entry, you're always going to be under pressure when it comes to the lineouts, and that's exactly what happened. So we're going to have to make sure that we get better in that department for when it comes to kicking game.
Guys, I just forgot to mention a little earlier is that Stick's comments are for use today, and Grant's comments will be embargoed for tomorrow, just so that you've got fresh content for tomorrow as well. So please just note that if you don't mind. Next question, Carl.
Coach, the changes you made rotational, or do you have other game plans or other plans that up your sleeve?
I think it's a bit of both, There are positions where I thought, what, I also need to give other guys an opportunity because we've only got 2 games, And then on the other side also, if you look at the guys that came off the bench, Grant Williams sitting next to me, I think he had a massive impact in the game, So I think that was why now he's promoted to be in the starting lineup. And you look at the forwards, I think the changes that Hooker, Joseph Tueba currently is on standby for the Springbok main side. because of Malcolm Max has got a bit of a knock in his quad. So Joseph, that's why he's not in the team. I think he's on standby on that side. And then if you look at the guys on the bench, a guy like JJ Kotze was not involved in the team last week, and then Mornay also Smith also. I think it's fair also to give them some game time. And if you look at a guy like Sazi Sandi, unfortunately, didn't make the cut this week. Came off the bench last week, had a massive impact. And I know it's tough for him maybe not to be in the team, but once again, I wanted to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to showcase what they can do.
Adnan?
Thanks, Zina. How's it, Stick and Grant? Just a
Salam.
question. Salam, brother. Just a question for Stick. The combination of Grant and obviously Shasha, it's quite an exciting combination. You just mentioned now when Grant came on, he made a massive impact with his speed. And then just the excitement that Shasha also brings to the party with in that combination.
Yeah, I think, for example, more especially if you look at both guys have been with the Springbok setup, they understand how we want to play. I think that's going to be the key thing with that combination, because like I said, we were guilty last week where we didn't manage the game very well, so with Grant knowing our philosophy and knowing how we want to play things, knowing what it takes to be at the top, so I think that's going to be a biggest challenge for them. Yes, we do know they've got an X factor, and I always encourage players to bring what makes them special, so but the key thing for me is when you play in the Northern Hemisphere, you need to make sure that you also play the conditions very well, so that's going to be the biggest challenge for those two. And but once again, the X factor is always welcome from our side, and I'm excited to see what they can do also, and I know Grant has been with us at the Springboks where he's been waiting for his opportunity. So I was actually happy to see him bringing that impact in the game last week. Sasha was with the Springbok. He traveled back with me yesterday the whole day. And for him also, for him to get game time, hopefully they will be in a position to be selected for that England game, that last test match on tour.
Adnan?
Yeah, thanks. I just to follow up on that, Grant, have you played with Shasha before, and how do you think the combination will go?
No, this is actually the first time, and I personally think that um, it's just about, like Coach Stick said, playing the conditions well and then managing the game. Yeah, so I think we'll probably have our first training session together today, and then we'll wait and see how.
Thank you.
Justin?
Grant, just for you as well, you've been exposed to the Springbok setup before, having, being capped as well. How's it for the other players around you that are now exposed to the Springbok way? How have you felt they've, accepted or sort of just learnt, how the box do things, and what has it meant for them, as you being one that has been capped already?
First of all, I think it's still massive to be selected for this squad. I mean, what you guys need to understand is we're a bunch of guys coming from different unions, so everyone's buying into the system. And for me personally, I've been with the Springboks, so for me it's much easier. But I think everyone's just so excited for the opportunity to be here, and I'm sure everyone will buy in.
Kaniso?
Thank you very much, Zina. I'll ask in this Xhosa if it's not an issue. Bomoy, man, Thembi uyaphila man. Ngobona
Yeah, Tata.
kwamakhasi onxibelelwano bathi uJoseph eqoqoshe kahle kakhulu man umdlalo wakhe ngokujula kwi-line out nalapha ebabaleni. Yintoni ebeyenzileyo kwesithutyana sincinci esikwazi ukuqoqosha umdlalo wakhe, and uba kufumaniseka uba ke uyadlala ke ngole nto ngomgqibelo for amabhokobhoko, izawuba bilintoni igalelo lakhe kulaa mdlalo, kuba bekhe ndatsho nakuba khange ndiwubukele laa mdlalo.
Khanyiso tata, ndivuyele kakhulu indlela uJoseph adlale ngayo last week, as abantu abaninzi ke besazi bethanda ubeka ipressure kuye nge-line outs. Ke siyazi kaloku uba njengomdlalo odlala phaa kunumber 2, yabona i-primary job yakho zii-line outs also, ne? And phaa u-physical kakhulu, unamandla, indoda noko ethi xa ikheri ibhola iqonde phambili, yabona. Besimvuyela kwi-conditions ke basically conditions ebesikuzo last week because bekukho umoya omkhulu kakhulu pha kule ndawo besidlala kuyo neMunster nemvula ebingekho right kodwa ke indlela abazimanage ngayo iisepisi zethu uyabona bendiyivuyela kakhulu for uJoseph and whatever yenzileyo apha suka khona iyamsebenzela hopefully bawuzathi carry on improve kuyo but siyamazi kodwa ke mfana around the park wena tata ba mfana noko namandla xa kufuneka i-front football uyakwazi usinika siyi-team yethu so yeah I was very happy to ubona uJoseph edlala kakuhle kakhulu
impendulo
last
yakho
week
mhlekazi ulahle kancinci le mpendulo yakho ngathi kukhona uqhako okwenzekileyo
okay uyandiva
yakuba
Justin?
okay wait Van Tonder,
Oh, was that another
can you
question?
say can you apparently said that you didn't hear what I was saying so it got cut a
Oh.
bit. Should I repeat again, Kanyiso?
ya ungaphinda mhlekazi.
Okay, ndithi tata bendimvuyela kakhulu umntwana uJoseph indlela adlale ngayo yabona kukhumbule kaloku uba noko iprimary umsebenzi wakhe njengehook afuneka kaloku uqale lapha kwi-line outs yabo tata siyamazi around the park uJoseph umfana odlala kakuhle kakhulu onamandla xa kufuneka siqonde phambili asinike i-front football uqela usinika yona kakuhle yabona so into ebebalulekileyo kwezaa conditions besikuzo besiyazi uba kuzawuba nzima but kodwa ke xa ndijonga awine ngayilana I think it was 100% bendimvuyela kakhulu yabona and hopefully mhlambi if bangaba i-injuries phakathi kamabhokobhoko njengoba ke-standby mhlambi uyalufumana ithuba layo kaloku kwezi last 2 games ndiyamvuyela kakhulu indlela adlale ngayo kodwa tata.
Thank you.
Nathan?
Thank you, Zina. Coach Stick, I just got one in English, then a couple in Xhosa later if there's time. Last week I mentioned the impact of not having an open side flanker. You included Eskom there at 6 this week. Do you feel with the 6-2 split, you have covered all the bases in terms of backups on the bench, especially in the backline?
Nathan tata ukhumbule kaloku Mark Van Staden. Oh, you want English first? Oh, I thought you said Xhosa. Okay, no, it's fine. Now, remember, when it comes to Orlando Marco Van Staden, he was supposed to be in the Springbok squad, but he had a rib problem, you know. So he wasn't going to be able to play last week, you know. So I think now with an extra week, he managed to recover well. So we heard a report from our team doctor, Jerome Mampane at the Springboks, that he should be able to play for this week for us, you know. So that's why it was an easy call for us to bring him in, you know. So it's not because of he was not with us last week because of we didn't want him. If he was available to play, surely we would have had him in our squad. So it's always nice to have someone like him. I know perhaps he did a great job last week also at open side. You know, he'll be on the bench still covering also open side. But Marco van Staden, I think he's recovered from his rib injury. And yeah, you know, if it wasn't for that injury, he would have also played last week. So I'm very happy to have him in our squad. And once again, I think the conditions here, they're going to suit him very well, you know, because he's played here last year and he knows the conditions very well. And, you know, if you don't have the weather condition doesn't allow you to play too much running rugby, he'll be able to put pressure for us on the breakdowns, you know, to the opposition, because we also know a team like Bristol wants to keep the ball in hand. So I think it'll be massive for us on defense.
The second part of that question was based on the fact that your bench, do you feel that it will your backline will be covered?
I think if you look at the challenges we had last week, like I said to you, is that the game was more physical up in front, you know, and I felt like, you know what, with the reserves we had, if you remember last week, we had Grant Williams as a 9 and covering the wing, and then we also had Sanele covering 9 and 10. You know, I think now if you're talking about having a proper proper bench, you know, the forwards that we've got now with Matras joining us, I think it makes sense to have Sanele covering 9 and 10, and then also having a guy like Johan Hussein covering 10 and 15 with the Sasha who can also roam between 10 and 12 and Cornell. So I think the more balanced team that we could have had was to go for 6-2 split. Otherwise, that means I would have, if I had to go now to 5-3, that means I must select Herschel on the bench again, and then you'll have 2 9s again. So I think the more balanced team now for this game is to have those forwards. And once again, to what we expect from Bristol, you know, they're going to try to keep the ball in hand. That means they're going to challenge our forwards. So we'll probably need some fresh legs later on in the game.
Justin?
Thanks, Z. Grant, for you, Coach Jacques Nienaber has mentioned, praised, the strength of the scrum of possession we have in the country at the moment. For you, personally, does that work motivator, or the fact that there's so much competition, does it kind of work as negative in a way as well?
I always take it as something positive, Justin. For me, it's more about the better the competition, the better I get personally. So obviously, we all know the depth we have at Scrum Off. For me, it's just about getting out there, enjoying myself, and play some good rugby.
Adnan?
Thanks, Zena. Just for Stick, you mentioned the playing conditions. Pat Lam from Bristol Bears, he's got obviously a New Zealand background. They like to play or throw the ball around. Do you think that they will, they can adapt to the situation because they play there more often than you guys, or how do you see it going with the style of play?
No doubt to change how they play, because of remember they live here, they spend their probably almost 90% of their training time in those conditions. They used to those conditions. So for them, it's not a challenge to play in the wet conditions, So I don't think they're going to move away from their DNA. When it comes to New Zealand philosophy, they always want to keep ball in play. And you also look at a couple of their players in their team, they've got a squad. So I don't think they'll move away from it. And the conditions, like if you saw also last week, the brilliant tries that were scored by Munster, where they could send the ball into space, where sometimes us, when we wanted to send the ball wide into spaces, there were a lot of errors there, bad passes, and then also drop passes. So it shows that we're not used to the conditions, even though, yes, it's good now we've got our URC teams playing in the Northern Hemisphere, but probably it's going to pay off in the future. But for now, I think we're still behind it. So I doubt Bristol will change how they want to play the game.
Can you so?
Okay, I'll
Can you
ask. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. I'll ask. Let's ask. Plastic. Kasicacisele manje ngokungena kuka Sasha Feinberg Mngoma Zulu nento efuna uyibona mani kuye kumdlalo wakhe, especially uba mhlawumbi iimeko zingatshintsha. Ilight ekhulele eKapa, idlalela eBristol, idlalela ifunda eBishops kulaa mimo yaseKapa nalaa mvula yaseKapa. Nje kasicacisele olu vuyo mani unalo ngobona le ntwana ke izawuke ikhipha ntsule mani ngesixhosa saselokishini.
Kanyiso ndiyayivuyela iwesixa abafana abancane xa befumana i-opportunity. Siyamazi kaloku Sasha ngumfana one-potential kakhulu. Simbonile indlela abelitsha ngayo nakwi-Junior Springboks. Ngumfana noko ubonakalisa uba nentloko yakhe ubuchopho bakhe buphilile. Uyabona wona tata. So into esithina esinqwenelayo kubo, like uGrant ebetshilo earlier on, was first things first, bangakwazi na uyimanage igame njengoba sewutshile ke noko yena ii-conditions zaseKapa now and then ebeqhela uzifumana lo mfana. Yabo, so into ebalulekileyo kubo wena bhuti is not to say babangadlali took strengths zabo. Into ebalulekileyo kokuqaleni kaloku uze ukhumbule uba i-rugby it's a team sport. So into ebalulekileyo kufuneka noko bacingele nee-forward zethu bakwazi uzibeka kumhlaba orayithi, and then xa belapho bayazazi ke noko i-freedom banayo abafana ba xa amathuba evela bakwazi uwasebenzisa. And ngumfana noko endithi xa ndimbonile indlela bedlala ngayo kwiStormers, khumbula uke wadlala nakunumber 12, ikubonakalisa into enkulu ke leyo kulo mfana ba noko ngumfana oqine kakhulu, okwaziyo nokuyimela into yakhe naxa kufuneka kube physical uyakwazi udlala loo ndima. And ndiyamvuyela, ndithi hopefully bazakwazi udlala kakhe nje-combination. And also xa ujonga outside yena uba nomfana onjengoCornell, uyabona umfana ono-experience okudala noko wayihamba le mihlaba. I think yeyona nto izawukwenza uba itimu yethu ibhalanse kakuhle, because uyayibona noko i-experience ikhona ne-potential kabafana abancane ikhona phaa. So ndiyabavuyela bakwazi ukufumana ithuba nabo.
Carl?
Coach, I almost said the Beckham twins. The Dupree twins made a very big impact when they came on against Munster. And I mean, they disappeared from the South Africa or the Springbok scene and everything. Do you see them playing a bigger role in future, or is it going to be back to the normal?
That those guys are they're gonna play big games in the future. No doubt at all. You know, every time when they got an opportunity, they always lift their hands up. You know, so I know at the moment they're not in a mix with the Springboks, but once again, uh, you can never question their potential. You know, you can never question how they play the game, and they always bring massive physical impact in the game. And you saw exactly what happened last week with Jael starting the game. He was one of the key players in giving us that momentum in the game. And then when he came off the bench with the guys like Skumbuza, the impact they've got, you know, I'm talking with ball in hand now and giving us that momentum. And even when we were required to defend, you know, they put some physical tackles in that game. So no doubt at all that they will play more test matches in the future, because I know they've got a bright future ahead of themselves.
Adnan,
Zina, can I ask Grant a question in Afrikaans?
you may.
Fatum, Adnan, Fatum.
Ja, Grant, jy is afkomstig van die Parel, jy's 'n boring van die Parel. As ek kyk na die spanne of die spanlede, daar's ouetjies soos Gianni Lombard. Ek dink daar's 'n 2 jaar ouderdomsverskil tussen julle twee. Jy was by Paul Jim, hy was by Paul Boys. Wat is dit van die Parel wat so baie Springbokke oplewer en dan is daar nog Kurt, Kurt Lee en ja, daar's so baie Salman, almal van julle.
Adnan, om jou te antwoord, ek dink goeie skole, harde werk en 'n bietjie lak, dink ek. Ek dink dis seker maar die rede hoekom ons hier is vandag en ek dink soos jy gesê het, Gianni is ook 'n exciting player en ja, ek sien net uit om met almal te speel en net die game te geniet. Ek dink dis die grootste ding. Soms dwaal ons weg van dit af en ek dink dit is massive om net uit te gaan, om dit te gaan geniet en iets groot te maak van die moment.
Dankie.
Nathan?
Bomoyi, amanjani amalungiselelo for lo mdlalo kunye neBristol xa abadlali mane bengene bephume as utshilo uJoseph unyuselwe usesha wehla apha kuni?
Tata, into endiyithandayo ke mna uba nangoku kwakuqaliswa ii-plans for le tour, yabona, I was always part of iLandeza plans njengabaqeqeshi beSpringbok. So besiyazi, besilindele le nto uba izawuba khona utshintshwana now and then, yabo. Ukhumbule kaloku into yokuqala uba baziSpringbok, yabona, ezizaqala basiselekte zona. So ezinye ii-players ezi-available thina sithathe apho kuzo. So I don't think ukhona umqeqeshi onothi xa enikwa ithuba basebenze nabafana abanjengosasha basuka kwiSpringboks phezulu anganoluthatha elo thuba. So into ebesiyilindele wena tata loo nto. So asinokwazi uba senze i-excuse ngayo sithi uba hayi itimu iyatshintsha iphinde ithini. Besiyazi uba izinto ezawuba njalo. Le nto uba abafana bafumana amathuba, yabo. Ukhumbule kaloku uba abafana abanintsi baphefumele kwi-URC and kube nzima sometimes ufumana ithuba xa kudlalwa kule nto kwiSpringboks, yabona. uGrant kudala edlala ephakuthi kwiSpringboks, yabona, zange alifumane ithuba because iline inde, yabo. So ndiyavuma xa naye xa ekwazi ukufumana ithuba kwi-SA azibonakalise and without no doubt at all bakhona abafana abanintsi abazawuthi banyuke bahambe bayodlala phaa kwiSpringboks. Nabafana abanjengoThomas kudala besesistemini but abafumana ithuba because of i-competition i-tight phaa phezulu. But kodwa ke into ebalulekileyo ukuthi sithi uba sibanike ithuba abadlali baleni phakathi. So kuzawufuneka nabo bazibonakalise noko ngabaqeqeshi bamabhokobhoko.
Cool, guys. Is that it, Nathan? Do you have another question?
Yes, one more Zina, please.
Yo, Nathan, last one, eh? Here, it's a Nathan conference. It's not a press conference.
I apologize, Zina. Nifaka thwala ntwana usesha phambi koRhoseni. Ngeziphi isizathu niqalise la jongwana phambi la uRhoseni?
Kaloku ukhumbule wena Nathan, ne, xa umuntu esuka kwiSpringbok phaa phezulu ephaa kwiSpringboks, xa eziswa phaa kuthi uba noko bakhona imiyalelo bakufuneke bebonakalile bafumane i-game time, because uzukhumbula kaloku bona uba bafumana if banofumana i-game time bazibonakalise banethuba bangathini bangadlala against England, because kaloku zikhona abadlali abangazuphumelela phaa kulaa match. Uzukhumbula abafana abadlala apha e-UK abazukwazi ukudlala laa match because of it's out of window, yabona. So usasha ke yena because of singamabhokobhoko baphezulu sithi sathi bamasimisa bezantsi bekubalekile ba afumane na i-game time. uJohan Goosen umbonile last week ebeyifumene ixesha lakhe and usekhona eqeleni nasebhenjini, but siyibonile besifuna ubona kuye. nangoku into ebalulekileyo sikwazi kaloku uphusasha ithuba sibone uba angakwazi na uphefoma naye kakuhle na.
Adnan?
Yeah, so just the lastly from me, Zina, Stick, if you look at the players that you have in the side and the skill set and the ability to attack and also in this, the style they played on Saturday against that loss, but everybody looked at that game and said, you guys gave an excellent performance. And looking at where they attack from, is that perhaps something going forward that you guys will look at in building on your game plan, where you also attack, when it's on from your own half?
I think Adnan, the same goes with the review that we had with the SAA squad against Munster. We spoke about the opportunity that we've created in the game, and it felt like for me as a coach, the guys didn't really look excited, and it's something that we always encourage them to look for those opportunities and to get excited, because that's actually the reason that made them who they are. And if you look at the guys on the outside, guys like Lelo Zas and Suleiman, those guys, it's players that whenever they get the ball in hand, they always get some energy, But I felt like last week we didn't really get that. I don't know, maybe the occasion was just too much for them or too big for them, but that is spoke about it, to look for opportunities. When it's on for them to take the ball wide, they must take it. So yes, it's part of our plan and we always want to grow into it.
Cool,
Thank
guys,
you.
we'll take a last question from Ross, and then I just have one for Grant, so that we've got extra more content for tomorrow. So Adnan, Ross, you go.
Thanks, Zina. How's it, guys? How's the stocker?
Ross, how is it?
All good in yourself. With the struggles of the Boks with their 2 losses on tour and you guys last week, has that added a bit of extra pressure to this game? To try and get one up for the national side now on this end of year tour. And then I think you might have answered part of the question from Nathan there. That my other question on. Were you not wanting to get a bit more game time into Johan, with another start there?
Yeah, first things first, being involved in the Springboks, and wearing a Springbok jersey for the players and also being involved as a coach, there's always a pressure. Our country, how passionate people are when it comes to the Springbok environment, so we know we're always under pressure, and then second thing, us being on tour and not getting the results, I think I can't fault our players, the way we fought against France, and being for 70 minutes, the way we played with 14 men, and then also at some stage where we had 13 guys on the field. So we can't really fault the commitment our players they showed in that game. And then unfortunately, certain calls didn't go our way, and we know it's part of the game, and there's nothing we can do about the match officials, So I think we must just give credit to our players, even though we were all disappointed at losing, but the way we've lost the game, I think we really, really gave it all. We gave it all. We wanted to win the game so badly, but certain things are not in our control, So yeah, once again, we were disappointed, but we'll keep fighting to get those results, Once again, yes, we understand we're under pressure. We need those results, but in a Springbok jersey, you're always under pressure. And then what was the second one?
Johan
Question.
Oh, about giving the guys the opportunity again to play the team. Yeah, you know what? We only got 2 games on Cambros, so it's tough to say, okay, I want to give other guys also second opportunity to build on what they've done in the first game. But on the other side, also it will be unfair not to give the other guys that were also on the bench, an opportunity. So I don't think for me, I've got the luxury, to say I'm building, for games was about the results and also giving guys opportunities. So we didn't get the results in the first game, and then this one, the main goal for me was to give also other guys some opportunity to show what they can do also for us. But otherwise, I can't say and lie in front of people and say no, I'm trying to build. There's nothing that I'm building onto. We just want the results, and we want to also give players opportunities.
And then Grant, just lastly from my side, what are you expecting from Bristol?
Like Coach Stick said, they have a really good running game. We've seen how they run out of their own 22, and yeah, and exciting brand of rugby. So for us, yeah, it's just about controlling the territory game and being aware of what they throw at us.
And is that where this bloody mic got a new mic and it's not flipping working and it's a joke. It's absolutely a joke. Right, shall we start again, shall we? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And yeah, the SAA side has just been announced. Quite a few interesting selections that have been made, quite a few interesting stories to talk about. And it's a good SAA side. I actually quite like it. And 6-2 split on the bench, for example, so it's very much a Springbok mold sort of SAA side. And yeah, a couple of big decisions, because something like Joseph Dwyer, for example, doesn't find himself in the 23. Hershey Yankee doesn't find himself in the 23. And are we now looking at both of these players going, they are now further than ever away from Springboks, for example? I don't think Joseph Dwyer was terrible last week, to be perfectly honest. So, I don't think that put it this way, I don't think his performance last week put him further away than the Springboks. However, Hershey Yankees, for example, I think has sort of played himself out of, I wouldn't say out of contention, but just not really on the radar right now for Springboks, for example. So, yeah, very interesting. And also a very big moment because Sasha Ngomazulu will play his first ever match at fly half at this level. He has never played at fly half at senior rugby level. Fun fact, by the way. So he does start at fly half, and we're gonna put the team on the screen in a moment, stuff like that. And we're gonna talk about it quite a lot. But a lot of players, for example, have been rewarded for their shifts they put in last week, which I like to see. It is very much a side that'll hopefully sort of demonstrate a bit of depth and stuff. So hopefully we will see a couple of players really sort of put their hand up. Marco van Staden, for example, back into the side. We didn't even know it's a bit like last week where we didn't even know that the Preas had been called up. As far as we were concerned, Marco van Staden wasn't available through injury, and now is back in the setup and starting. So it's all very strange. But what can you do? So I'm going to put a poll up, and we're going to ask the simple question is, what do we think? Are you happy? And I suppose I should put the team up for... There it is. That's the team. Now I can ask, are you happy with the SA23? Yes, no. It's simple question. Simple question. Yes or no? Let me know. So, yeah, go and get voting. And then we'll discuss it, shall we? So, the sound is gone. No, about to say it's back. You just used early to it. Yeah, there was a couple of issues earlier on, but now, the sound is fine. Got this new mic, which is supposedly all supposed to be fantastic, and it's been giving me issues the last couple of days. So, getting a bit frustrated about that, must admit. But I think it's a very nice SAA side, and I think what for me is so exciting about it is the fact that I think it's a nice blend of youth and experience. For example, you look at that loose trio, and Ulrich Lowe is still a young player, but coming through and very much getting into a sort of a Springbok career going. Next to Marco Verstappen, who's got a lot of experience. Next to Jean-Luc Depree, who whilst doesn't have plenty of international games, does have international experience. So, for example, I think that's a nice sort of position for him to be in. I do think it's a very exciting halfback pairing. For example, I think Sasha Ngomazulu and Grant Williams as a halfback pairing is very cool, and I'm very keen to see how they go. Also keen to see how Johnny Lombard goes fullback. We've seen him mostly at Flyer for the Lions, but I think he's a very interesting player from a Bok perspective because if he can get going, and we should be back. I mean, it's just an absolute disaster. The mic's not working. Then there's load shedding. We can't have nice things, can we? We can't have nice things. But we'll continue to move on, and we'll continue to forge our way forward and try and get through the stream because it is a lot to talk about. And Yeah, it's a Monday afternoon. We've also got Springbok press conference will be up in the next hour or two. They're very much aiming to beat Italy. Of course, they're aiming to beat Italy, but I think very much have a point to prove now, especially. So, yeah, I do think they're under a little bit of pressure, and hopefully we will see them really respond this week because they've got to respond at the end of the day. Because if they don't, there will be riots. There will be riots in the country if this box side does not go out this weekend. And I don't even think it's a case of beating Italy. I think they expect it to actually go and do the business. So I think the box are under quite a lot of pressure. But yeah, we're not here to talk about the box. We're here to talk about the SAA side versus the Bristol Bears. It is at Ashton Gate this week. Quite a cool place to play. So I think that'll be adding a nice little part to the game itself. But what are we saying, people? What are we saying? So Sean saying, happy to see Grant Williams get a start. Albatross just says halfbacks and loose chairs a massive improvement. Genuine 6 of Pepsi would have still preferred Fiber though. What is the time of the game? It is the top as 9, same as last week. Sean saying Yankees has fallen off the radar for me. Hasn't been on form for a while now. The box better in South Africa. Yep. Well, best around South Africa. Yeah. So looks like Gerson has dropped down the pecking order. It's an okay team. Louis says this is what Andre Govenda need next year. You'll be in the Rugby Championship squad. I mean, I don't think you will. I think that Johan Krabbeler might have something to say about that. But we never know. You do never know. What else is everybody saying about this? First of all, the polls looking a bit dicey, actually. Quite a lot of people not happy. And also, if you're sitting there saying you're not happy with it, who would you have liked to have seen it? And you can't start naming people who aren't in the squad. Okay, it's too late for that. We're not here to debate the squad. Who would you have liked to see that are available in this side? You know, like let's. I can't. You know, we're not here to sit there saying this guy should have been in the squad. This guy should have been in the squad. This guy should have been in the squad because we can debate that until the cows come home. There is a squad. This is the side they've picked. Are we happy? Yes or no? That's the question. That's what I'm trying to get out of you guys. And what am I trying to do? I'm trying to take the blooming load shedding schedule to see if we're going to be affected because now apparently load shedding stage 3 is coming in. But hopefully it won't be too badly affected. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay. John Ray says that it's an okay team, not good enough to be Bristol Bears, but what can you do? Well, John Ray, as always, I really love the optimism. I don't think you've ever backed any of these sides to ever beat anybody. But let's see what happens there. Christian said, I'd rather see Adolf van der Merwe at 14 other than that. I'm happy maybe Howard Forster at 12. Mr. Over saying exciting team on paper, but a big step up needed after last week's performance. Very happy about the scrum off, says Ivan. Otherwise, I'm happy there's a consistency, but also places where needed. Dweber did improve his lineups, but didn't offer much else, I thought. So he didn't have big carries, didn't seem to have a big work rate on the field. We didn't get an opportunity to carry. I think he made 1 carry. I don't understand that. I mean, it's like his biggest asset. Why are we not giving him the ball? Christian say, but they brought in the players who aren't in the squad already. Look, to be fair, Malcolm Verstappen was always part of the squad. He obviously had injury issues, and I think the Depreers were drafted in, like, geographically. They were just, I mean, you've got to bring in somebody on Monday, for example. We actually need to bring 2 players, and you've got 2 players who are situated in England, and they're potentially available and have been part of the setup. So, yeah, I understand we can talk about other players, but I mean, unless there are injuries, nobody's coming in. You know, no one's getting dropped, for example, out of the squad from a performance point of view. So there's only if there are injuries are there then spaces for players to come in. But I don't think we're going to see anybody coming. Well, we're not going to see anybody come in. But yeah, Hendrik Wessels is injured. He actually pulled out of the squad, didn't actually travel at all. Does this mean that Evan plays against Italy? Well, we wait to see tomorrow, won't we? This time tomorrow, the Springbok squad will be named, so we'll be able to find out if Evan Ruiz is part of it. Steve Khan saying all the French players I would have had in the side are most likely going to be in the 23 for the box weekend, so no real complaints. Well, we wait and see. Those French players being the likes of an Andre Esterhazy and a Salman Murat, an Evan Ruiz, for example, sort of players who are there but not really playing. Who else is there? Trevor Nyakane, for example. Who else? They've got their 3 scrum halves there. Interesting to see if Jaden Henderson comes back this weekend. I think that's pretty much it, you know. Contender saying I would have tried Hendricks at 14, Gomezulu at 12, Hussen at 15, Lombard at 10, have Hartzenberg off the bench. Shano says Bristol team already out because their team making me extremely scared for SAA. No, their team will probably be out on tomorrow, I'd imagine. But yeah. So let's go through the team, shall we? I think that's probably the best thing to do. We're now basically 15 minutes into the stream, and we haven't really gone through and really gone and looked at who is, what the big decisions are, and where we can expect big performances. And the reason I say I think it's a very nicely rounded team is I think that the front row is good. I'm happy to see Insuka Kunu getting another opportunity there. Obviously, Thomas Toy is there for the experience. Is captaining the side as well. I like Andre Hugo Penta. I think he's a nice player. I don't think he'll be in the box next year. I think Johan Krabelar's ahead of him anyway. And I think Dion Ferry is now sort of as an option at hooker that I think gives the box a lot of flexibility, because I think they'll be able to take 2 hookers to the World Cup as well as Dion Ferry, which, given the fact that I think you're allowed to take 2 extra players to the World Cup, if you can then take a utility forward who covers hooker and flank, you then can look at adding another player somewhere else. Jason Jacobs, Ruan Lockyer, the lock combination, no issues there. They are the only 2 really sort of out-and-out locks in the squad. So we did wonder if you might see Salman Murat and Marvin Ori drop down. I don't think we'll see that, given the fact that PSF's Toy is now going to be banned. Dialga has picked up an injury, so for example, you could see Marvin Ori starting this weekend with Franco Mostert on at 7, which means you'll probably see Salman Murat on the bench, or else you might even see one or 2 of them start. The loose trio, Malcolm Start, Albert Lowe, Jean-Luc Dupré. I think it's a very balanced loose trio. Still interesting that Jean-Luc Dupré is named at 8 ahead of Dan, who does traditionally play 8 more. But yeah, I think busy watching the ESA. There's an ESA20 launch, and looks like lots of things are happening over there, which is very interesting. Anyway, but so it's a nice loose trio. I think it's well balanced. I think you've got the physicality of Albert Lowe, Jean-Luc Dupré. I think you've got, I mean, not that Marco Verstappen isn't physical, but I think there's a very physical loose trio, and then you've got a Fetcher, an out-and-out Fetcher in Marco Verstappen, who is going to be able to really get you some turnovers, give you a lot of work at the breakdown. We've got Grant Williams next to Sasha Fabian Gomezulu. Fabian Gomezulu is a very young and prodigious talent. He is. Hasn't played 10 yet. So very keen to see how he does go at 10, which should be very interesting. And I'm hoping that we're hoping he has a good game. I think that people need to sort of taper expectations a little bit. He is a young player, still sort of getting to grips with this level. So, I do think that we do need to understand that he's coming that, but he has looked very comfortable at almost every single level. And hopefully this will just be the next sort of step up. Yeah, and if he can, then it gets very exciting. I do think we need to let him develop, and I do think we need to let him make mistakes. I think we need to let him be who he is and develop as he does, and not put too much pressure on him. But hopefully it is. Hopefully have a good game. And Grant Williams was very good off the bench, so I'm glad to see that he is rewarded for his form. You've then got Leon Zasserman, Hartzenberg, and Johnny Lombard as your back 3. Very keen to see how Lombard goes at 15. I do think that we might see him slotted first receiver. I think he's got a very nice boot on him, for example. I think Fabian Gonzalez will be the goal kicker, but you've got a good option there in Johnny Lombard as well. He's got a very long boot as well. 50-meter penalties are definitely on the cards, whilst you've got Johnny Lombard on the park. Apart from that, Corey Hendricks, Heckler, and Vague, hopefully we'll see a bit more chemistry between the two of them. Now they've had a week of preparation, we didn't see too much of that. I thought Corey Hendricks carried it pretty well, but yeah, I thought that Henker and Vague struggled to get into the game a little bit last week. And then off the bench, Jaja Kotza. I like Jaja Kotza. I think he's a very talented hooker. I think he needs to look for a move away, because I think that Andre Hugo Fenter, who they're seeing as a big talent, has kind of got the run-in on JJ Kotze, who I think has actually put a lot more hard yards. I think I've actually been more impressed with some of the JJ Kotze performances than I have necessarily with Andre Hugo Fenter, which is a big statement. But I do think he's gone under the radar and he's been quite underappreciated. I thought he stepped up a lot during the URC late stages last season. Sapiro Mantazia and Mornay Smith, the two Bulls players, very comfortable there. Dan Dupree, Sigabos and Noche Pepsi Buthelezi. It's a proper loose trio that can come on. Dan Dupree and John Luke obviously also covering lock. And then Nahamba Jan Hussen. So I don't think you can really have too many complaints about this side, despite the fact that only 75% of people have said that they do like the side. I don't think we can really have too many complaints. I think it's a pretty straightforward side. I think it's pretty obvious in many ways, I suppose. There's not too many other options they could have gone with, but they could have. I like the way they've lined it up, because whilst this 23 was pretty set, the way that it could have been lined up and been tweaked could have been different. And I like this balance. You could have continued to hand Khoisan, or you could have said, listen, Khoisan didn't go that well at 10, let's put him at 15. So I like the fact that they've gone with Lombard at 15. I like the fact that they've gone back Fame Ngomazulu at 10. You could have gone Fame Ngomazulu at 10, Lombard at 10, Fame Ngomazulu at 12, Khoisan at 15, for example. But they really have backed the youngsters here. That back line, with the exception of Cornel Hendricks, are all, I think Leon Zass, is about 20, how old is Leon Zass? He's probably one of the older ones, 27 years old, but the rest of the back line, so apart from Leon Zass and Cornel Hendricks, the rest of the back line's under the age of 25. You've got 3 players there who played under 20 in the last year. You've got, and then Johnny Lombard, and Grant Williams, who are about 22, 23 years old. So it's a very young back line, and if you look at the pack, for example, not the youngest pack. Albert Lowe still pretty young. Jean-Luc Dupre, Malcolm and Starden, in sort of what hopefully should be the peak of their powers. The front, Thomas Torre next to 2 very young props. So it's a very good mix of youth and experience. And we sort of wait to see if they're going to really be able to sort of come good. But again, we need to decide, what do we want out of this match on Saturday, on Thursday rather? Are we looking for a result? Are we looking to just go out and win? Or do we want to, are we just looking for a better performance? Are we just looking for this team to really click and to show us that they can play at this level? Or are we very results based? And do we just need to win? And I personally am also leaning towards, I want to see a performance. I want to see players who can step up. I want to see players who are going to back themselves. I want to see players who are going to think that they can do a job. And that's what I'm in for on Thursday. And I hopefully that, and again, we need to win. We want to win. But if we do lose, there's got to be a good performance. If we put in a proper good performance, and Bristol, who are a side that just play a lot more consistently together, and they come good, I can get over that. But it's when we lose and we've had bad performance and certain players haven't stepped up that you sit there thinking, this has been a bit of a waste. We haven't really, not waste, but we haven't really used the opportunity to the best of our abilities. But as long as I'm seeing players step up, Johnny Lombard goes and shows that he's a genuine option in the box squad, for example, then I'm happy with that. And certain players go and put their hands up. Malcolm Verstappen goes and said, I should be in the box squad. I like that. That's what I want to see. We want to see players putting their hands up and proving that they're ready for the next level. That for me is what the point of an SAA side is. Not to win games, for players to prove that they're ready for the actual side, which is the Springboks. And that's what we want to see on Thursday. Go to some of the comments here. Christian say probably Kwak at 7, Lewis at 8. Louis say I would like to see Dan Pierce start instead of Alwick, and Alwick start at the box. Christian saying it would be nice to see Alwick with the box. I reckon he's another game at this level. Zara saying I hope Henke can get some ball this game. Yeah, 100%. Christian says I could accept the loss if we play a good game and not due to poor calls. Let's not go down the referee road. There's far too much going about that, and we can't control it. We can't say much about it. We don't even know I don't even know who the ref is actually for this. So we will have, in terms of press conferences, we will have the Springbok press conference up in the next about 20 minutes or so, and we will also have the SAA press conference up later on this afternoon. In terms of other content, we do have a team of the week out, for example, so you guys can go and check that out. That is on the channel, and then we'll have pretty cool, by the way, for golf fans. We're recording a pretty cool golf podcast tonight, which will be out tomorrow. Tomorrow will be live for the Springbok team announcement, so you can come and join us then as well. Lots of very cool content coming your way this week as we prepare for another big week in the sort of World Cup preparations and for the and for next year really. Unfortunately, I said lots to do, so a lot of content coming your way. So we are going to wrap the stream up a little bit early. But thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll see you guys all soon. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, for a Springbok team announcement.
Thanks, Zena. How's it, guys? Thomas, last week, obviously, you guys got there quite late. You didn't have much time to prep for Munster. Now you've had an extra week of training. The guys have sort of gelled a bit more. How's it been since then, since that Munster game in terms of training and with the guys getting to know each other a bit better? And are you guys feeling a lot more confident going into Bristol, having had that extra week of training and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think it's brilliant for the guys to have some extra time together, spending it on the field, but also off of the field, getting to know each other a little bit better. So that's been brilliant. I think the extra few days worth of training, and especially an off day that we had yesterday, really helped the guys out. With the amount of recovery that we did, the amount of training that we did, I think it was really good for us. Definitely taking a little bit more confidence out of that. This week was a good training week for us as well. So yeah, we really to rectify some mistakes and take all the positive that we had from last week and take it into this game.
Justin?
Thank you, Zena. Hi, Coach Joey. Hi, Thomas. Coach, this one for you, similar to the previous question directed at Thomas, notably a bit more preparation time that you guys have had. You had a game experience as well. Sort of what are the learnings from that and what were the focus areas this week ahead of the Bristol match come Thursday?
Thanks for that, Justin. So for us, it was, if you take the last 40 odd minutes of the Munster game, the score would have been 7-all for that last 40, 50 minutes. So that helped us just to give us a foundation of something that we can build on technically. The conditions in that Munster game were very difficult to play into, so that gave us experience. So that was massive. And then the two things I would say is the combination of our experienced guys, like the influence that a Cornel Hendricks is having on a Henku who's young and a Suleiman who's 19 years old, and similarly to how Thomas and them are having an influence to some of the younger guys in the pack. I think the experience we gain technically off the field, relationships that are built a bit more, I think should stand us in good come tomorrow evening, 7:30.
Nathan?
Thank you, Zena. Good day, gentlemen. This question is for you, Joey. Everyone knows this already. Bristol will obviously be without 16 regulars. Only notable guys that are there is the Aussie Luke Morahan and former England under-20 winger Gabriel Vitoye, with Pat Lam being the head coach. As a renowned defense coach, what do you expect from them on attack?
So I'm not sure how much of them you've seen, but I haven't seen personally a team that likes to keep the ball in hand as much as they want to. I think Pat Lam has just bought a style of play that the guys want to keep ball in hand. You'll see them run from kickoff. You'll see them do quick taps. So there's definitely going to be an attacking threat there that we've prepared for, but we are well aware that it is coming. We won't be surprised by it. And yeah, so it's a different challenge to Munster. Munster was more of a physical attrition thing. What you're going to get here, you're going to get wide play, you're going to get quick play. So we're well aware that we're going to have to be at our best tomorrow night to front up. You mentioned the players that are out. I think similar to Munster is that teams like this get themselves up for occasions like this. So we're not thinking even how many guys they've got in or out. It's about us representing ourselves well. Yeah, no matter who they put out on the field.
Percy?
Thank you so much, Zena. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Coach Joey, with your permission, can I kindly ask you a question of Afrikaans before I go to Thomas?
Jy mag, Percy.
Baie dankie, Coach Joey. Lanklaas as jy, meneer. Coach Joey, kan ek vinnig vra? As afrigters, wat hoop julle om uit hierdie wedstryd te kry teen Bristol? Want ek weet volgende week gaan 'n baie interessante week wees by die Springbok groep. Gaan dit hier, soos Coach Mzwandile steek baie duidelik gesê het, julle voel baie erg oor om resultate te lewer as 'n nasionale span? Of is dit 'n geleentheid, een laaste geleentheid vir spelers om hulle talente tentoon te stel teen Bristol? En Thomas, as kaptein, ek aanvaar jy soek 'n oorwinning hierdie môre aand teen Bristol, maar Is daar individue in hierdie span of gaan dit hoofsaaklik net oor 'n spanpoging môre aan?
Wil jy ek moet eers gaan, Percy?
Asseblief coach Joey.
Ja, Percy, dankie. Ek sal sê Percy, coach Mzandile praat baie oor geleentheid. En hierdie week is 'n geleentheid vir ons as 'n groep om 'n vertoning op te sit waarvoor ons almal kan trots wees. 'n groepie binne en ooitjies by die miljoene Suid-Afrikaners wat daar buite vir die wedstryd kyk. So dis 'n geleentheid, maar definitief 'n geleentheid met 'n spanpoging. So daar is individue hier wat dalk volgende week sal betrokke wees by die groot span, maar nog steeds dit is nie glad individualisties nie. Dit gaan heeltemal oor ons spanpoging, die span wat ons probeer bou het oor die laaste 10 dae.
Ja, net om jou vir jou te antwoord. Die manier hoe ek dit sien is dis 'n geleentheid, soos coach Joey nou gesê het, is 'n geleentheid vir spelers om hulle hande op te steek spesifiek volgende week. Almal weet natuurlik. So dit is 'n geleentheid, maar is om 'n balans te vind tussen om jouself in die strukture uit te leef en om so goed as moontlik as 'n span saam te speel. Wat natuurlik ons verstaan regtig baie moeilik is met die tyd wat ons gegee is, maar soos ons gesê het laasweek is 'n goeie begin vir dit gewees. En in hierdie week het ons net soveel meer, soos ek nou voorheen gesê het, van die veld af het ons bietjie connect en op die veld net beter begin gel. So absoluut spanpoging. Hierdie wedstryd sal nooit of geen wedstryd sal ooit gewen word op individuele performance nie. So ja, ons kyk definitief hard daarna en ons is baie opgewonde want dit is ons regtig 'n goeie gel wat op die oomblik aan die gang is.
Nathan, is that another question?
Yes, Zina.
You can go, Nathan.
Thank you. Joey, just a personal question for you. Obviously, we don't really have much contact with you in terms of press conferences. You've been with the Bulls, the Lions, and now the Sharks. What valuable lessons have you learned throughout your career?
Sure. Good one. I'll start with the Lions. Firstly, obviously thankful for 9 years at a union like that. And then also the last part of Super Rugby, having worked with Swayze de Bruin, who was very much an attack-focused coach. It taught me like how to use limited amount of time to still try build some kind of defensive pride in a team that's attack-minded. So that stands us in good stead in having 10 days to prep. I think we've probably defended for like 40 minutes in these 10 days that we've had together. So I think you learn how to compress your theory into something small, understandable, simple and clear, hopefully in a 10-day space. And then my time at the Bulls, very fortunate for 2 years, pretty successful in those 2 years. They learned a lot about coming into a system and then not sort of understanding what's already there and then trying to build on the back of that. And then, I don't know, Thomas, we'll see what Durban has to hold forward, but I'm looking forward in that space to grow as a leader, grow as a head coach of the Currie Cup team. So that is a challenge that I'm definitely looking forward and I'm very excited about.
Ashfaq?
Thanks, Zina. Hi, Joey. Hi, Thomas. Joey, just in terms of, you spoke now about the limited time. You can't really implement a defense pattern in 10 days, let alone 3 days of last week. But how do you overcome that challenge in the national team setup compared to a franchise where you've got sort of a proper preseason? And then linked to that also in terms of your backline cohesion on attack and defense, you've got some really exciting players there. But did they have enough time to actually gel and try and get some moves together?
I think every coach always want more time. So even if we had like 20 days and not 10 days, you'd probably want more time. But the time is a factor. How do we overcome that? I think we fight to have little informal between. We fight to see what the collective is comfortable with so that when a guy is out there, he can do something that he's comfortable with. And then ultimately you really hope for the best, that which you have invested in, you'll see the rewards of it on a Saturday. You spoke about some attacking stuff. There is definitely an exciting young backline, and it helps to have a guy like Bafana and Kleko who coach some of these guys as junior Springboks to see that pipeline going through. So I think it's comforting for them to see familiar faces. Similarly with me and the guys who I coached at the Bulls and at the Lions before, you just almost rely on those relationships and you can draw some return on investment on good current and previous relationships as well.
Percy?
Dank je, Zina. Coach Joey, kan ik een opvolgvraag op wat Nathan vir jou gevra? Jy het toch gepraat oor ervaring by die drie clubs, by die drie franchises wat jy gewerk het. Hoe was jou tydjie nou met die nasionale span gewees, sedert julle daar in Stellenbosch gewerk het, nou daar in Ierland? En wat gebeur nou na môre aan se wedstryd? Gaan julle saam met die span Engeland toe of gaan julle daar vanaf terug huis toe?
Percy, kom ek antwoord die tweede deel. Daar gaan ek dink 'n handvol ouens, ek is nie seker hoeveel wat aan Engeland toe vlieg of met die om die span te join, waar ook al hulle gaan wees. So dis die tweede deel. Ek's nie baie goed met die logistiek nie, so as ek nie akkuraat daar is nie, moenie my te veel quote daarop nie. En dan die eerste deel was, wat was die eerste deel weer? Ekskuus Percy?
Hoe was jou
eerste week?
Okay, yes Percy. Ek sal jou sê die Engelsman praat van 'n watershed oomblik. Ek sal sê hierdie is vir my die goed wat ek geleer het hier in die laaste 3 weke van die kamp in SAS, die hele toetsweek saam met die Springbokke in Dublin. Ek sal as ek 'n miljoen rand gehad doen het in hierdie 3 weke. Ek kan jou nie die woorde kan nie beskryf die dit is ek het ongelooflike taal hierdie 3 weke. Ek kan jou nie sê hoeveel ek gegroei het as 'n mens as 'n coach hierdie 3 weke. Ek dink ek is 'n bevoordeelde man. Dit is ongelooflik. Ek kan dit nie beskryf nie.
I'm not sure if everybody else had the same problem, but Joey, there were sections where you broke up at quite vital moments. Percy, did that happen on your side as well, or is it just by me?
Thank you so much, Zina. I have to agree with you. Thank you. Apologies about this, Coach Joey. Just can you repeat that last part, please, about your experience, your ervaring die laaste 3 weke?
Okay. Is reg Percy, so wat ek gesê het is ek het amper nie woorde om te beskryf die al die lesse wat ek geleer het oor die laaste 3 weke. Ek het gesê die Engelsman praat van 'n watershed oomblik in 'n mens se loopbaan. Hierdie is 'n watershed vir my. Ek voel wat ek geleer het oor hierdie 3 dae, 'n mens kan nie geld daarvoor betaal nie. Miljoen rand gehad het om te sê kan ek 'n miljoen rand betaal vir die ervaring wat opgedoen was in hierdie 3 weke, so ek dit maklik betaal het, want hierdie is dis priceless. Daar is nie actually woorde om te beskryf die diepte van leer wat gebeur het hier. Dis ongelooflike duur skoolfondse. Dit is amper soos om 'n jaar van Hilton se skoolfondse te betaal.
Baie dankie coach, baie dankie Thomas.
Nathan?
Thank you. This is my final question, Zina. Coach, as Joey, just touching on what I said earlier on, you've obviously worked under many coaches with all the teams I mentioned previously. How's it been working under Coach Stick? I mean, do you think Coach Stick has what it takes to be national head coach post World Cup? I mean, you've been with them now with this SAA, and I'm sure back home with a few workshops, SA Rugby hosts.
Nathan, so I'll start with just the leadership of the group in general. So the work that Thomas has done in connection with I mean, it takes incredible leaders to flock a group of people together within a 10-day space the way that they have. So I must commend. Then back to Coach Mzwandile Stick, his ability to gather a group together off the field and sell a vision has been phenomenal. Understanding of the game, his tactical understanding from all those experiences you spoke about at international level cannot be questioned. It is second to none. So for me, it's been an honor serving under him and then working with Bafana Ntleko, who's got an unbeaten record over the last 2 years as the SA under-20 head coach. So we've just been very privileged men to work with a caliber of player like Thomas and the rest of the group. But as a coaching group, it's been an honor to work with these men. I think they've all earned their rights. I think Bafana has been coaching for almost a decade and a half, and Sticky as well. So I think for all the coaches here involved, it's good reward for men who have served the system and really done their time through all the age group levels into varsity, into provincial, and now into international.
Awesome. Justin, let's take the final question from you.
Thank you much, Gina. Coach Joey, absolutely love your enthusiasm. I think you could just simply reiterate your response to Percy, just in English, about your time within the Springbok environment in terms of coaching, being with the team in France and so forth. Just those learnings and what the massive pay cuts for you personally were?
Yeah, Justin, I would say one, I'm a privileged man, very fortunate to have experienced these last 3 weeks. If somebody asked me to pay R1 million for these experiences, I would pay $1.5 million because it's invaluable, the amount of learnings that to be sitting in a team meeting with is incredible. And then also to be allowed to speak in those meetings says a lot about a guy like Rassie and his leadership style and how he's inclusive and lets everybody feel part of the thing. So I mean, I think I'm pretty decent with words, but I probably don't have the right amount of words to articulate the level of gratitude and the amount of learning that's happened over these last 3 weeks.
Ashfaq, I see your hand is up. You can go, and then we'll wrap things up.
Thanks, Zina. Just to Thomas, we know about Bristol and how they like to hold on to the ball, as Joey said. But in terms of the pack and the challenge there for you guys, do you try and just take them on in an arm wrestle, or you also gonna? I know you guys also like to offload in the tackle the big boys.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I think as a forwards pack, we will definitely want to try and get through them first. They've got a very good scrum, ability to scrum, and a very good maul, and then obviously some good place off of mauls. It's obviously something that we've looked at this week. But for us, we try not shy away from the typical way of a South African that needs to play a certain way. So we definitely want to take. And we definitely have variety in our attack. So we will choose the times when we're going to use it, and we're going to choose the times where we we just want to be direct and physical. So that's obviously the part of the game, the plan for. But who knows? When the game comes, things might change. But yeah, we're definitely looking at variety, and we're looking at doing the typical South African way.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys.
Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Fair Sport. For today's guide on how to watch the SAA take on Bristol tomorrow night at 9:30 South African time. And unfortunately, there is no free-to-air broadcasters showing the game. It is being shown exclusively on SuperSport or Bears TV or Bristol Bears TV. Which is known as Bears TV. So, so in terms of how to watch the game, we're going to sort of go through exactly stuff like that. Before we do that, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So, last week, it was very easy to watch the game. It was being broadcast live on Virgin Media Sport. However, this week, it is not being shown on a free-to-air broadcast. There are therefore only two ways you can watch this game. First of all, if you're in South Africa, it is being shown on SuperSport. They are the official. They are carrying the rights for South Africa and as well as also the SuperSport territories. However, if you are not inside one of these territories, you can watch the match using a match day pass for Bears TV, which is £5, the equivalent of about $100. But the big sort of catch-22 is you cannot access, from my understanding, you cannot access Bears TV from the SuperSport countries because they do have those rights. So if you want to watch the match and you don't, and you've got two options. First of all, you either watch it on SuperSport or else you're going to use ExpressVPN. A big shout out to ExpressVPN who are sponsoring this video. You're going to connect to a UK server, so you're going to download it in the description. You're going to connect to a UK server like that, and then you're going to go to Bears TV over here, which is what it looks like, and you're going to go buy yourself a match day pass for £5. That's unfortunately the only way you can watch the action on Thursday. However, if you cannot watch the action, don't stress. We will be doing a live watch along. We will have a tracker, for example. We'll have the live score and stuff like that. So we will be giving you guys as detailed coverage as is available and without actually watching the match for free on YouTube over here. So make sure you come and join us for the watch along on Thursday. Promises to be a very interesting game. And hopefully the South African Ace guys really do stand up and put in a much improved performance from the one we saw last week. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Apart from that, please do smash like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And I'll see you guys all on Thursday. Hello, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Fair Sports. I want to make sure my mic was working because we have had those issues in the past. Right, people, it is a Thursday evening. It's 9 o'clock in South Africa Standard Time. Some people are asleep. Some people are winding down after a long day of work. I, on the other hand, am getting ready to watch some rugby. And there is drama, and more drama right now. And that is because Rassie Erasmus, the South African Director of Rugby, it's banned. Banned, chaps. He's gone. He's gone again. You lost him for 2 more matches. In case you have missed the news, Rassie Erasmus has copped a 2-match ban for calling out referees on Twitter, basically. That is not even basically, that's exactly what's happened. So Rassie Erasmus has officially received a ban from World Rugby. Now, it's pretty much blowing up the internet at the moment. Some people, and it's interesting actually to see what the reaction is. Some people sort of saying, yeah, probably to be fair, and I kind of probably sitting in the same sort of situation, Yes, we want referee decisions to be better. Yes, we want more accountability from World Rugby. No, you probably should not be posting several clips on Twitter, basically implying that the referee's got all a whole bunch of decisions wrong. Probably not the smartest thing to do, and to not expect consequences. So there are consequences. These are the consequences. Rassie Erasmus has been banned. He will not be in the Springbok dugout, as they say. This weekend, he'll also not be there next weekend for the England test. So the next time we'll see Rassie Erasmus involved with the Springboks is next year. Now, where have we heard that before? Where have we heard that before? This will be, in fact, the second test against England in a row that Rassie Erasmus will not be with the Boks because he's serving a ban. So, man, I just don't think he likes Twickenham, to be honest. I reckon that's it. I think, at the end of the day, there are so many different reasons about why he could be doing what he's doing, but the most obvious one for me is the fact he just doesn't like going to Twickenham, and so he decided he'll just skip it twice because I mean, what else? What other reasonable explanation is it for him to just keep getting bans at the time we're about to take England on? But the big thing is we are watching South Africa A versus Bristol Bears tonight. That is the main event. Rassie Erasmus is giving us a bit of a starter to sort of actions, getting us sort of talking, getting us all sort of riled up. So yeah, so I suppose we're taking it away a little bit to World Rugby. To be fair, he didn't ban himself, so World Rugby kind of taking away a little bit from the excitement of tonight. But I do think that tonight's going to be cool. I am very excited about tonight's game. I am very excited about the SAA side. I'm excited about a lot of the players playing in it, and I'm hoping that we see a much improved performance to the one we saw last week when we went down to Munster. And let's be honest, it's not really the result that's the main thing here. We're not really worried about the result. It's the performance. We need to see a good performance. We need to see players stepping up. We need to see players saying, I want to play for the Springboks, and I'm good enough for playing for the Springboks. That's what tonight's all about, isn't it? So there is a poll in the description. Now, people are asking me, how can I watch this game? Well, if you've got SuperSport, they show you on SuperSport. It's both on 201 as well as SuperSport Rugby. So it's as easy as that if you have got SuperSport. If you do not have SuperSport, there's only one other broadcaster who are showing the game, and that's Bears TV, the internal Bristol Bears service, and that is only available outside of SuperSport territories, outside of Africa, basically. So in order to be able to get access to that, for example, well, there we go. It's on the screen over there. ExpressVPN are making it possible. So what you're going to do if you want to watch the game, for example, if you don't have DSTV, is you're going to download ExpressVPN if you're within a SuperSport country, and you're going to connect to a UK server, and then you're going to go to the description, the link in the description, and you're going to go and sign up for Bristol Bears TV. You're going to get a match pass, which is £5, 200. That's about $100. Unfortunately, people, I don't write the rules. There's no free to air broadcaster for it, so yeah, and I can't do much about the fact that it is a paid event. I can't. I'm sorry. I wish I could. Can't. Love to, but can't. So that's how you can watch the match. Look, I think it'll be worth it. I would put it this way: if I was in a situation, I would probably just pay that £5 and go watch the game. I think it's gonna be a cool game, and I'm a big rugby fan, so I'll take the hit personally. A lot of people I don't think are gonna take the hit, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there are massive issues there, for example, or if and what the backlash will be. Personally, I think that they should have just put it on YouTube instead of Bears TV and done a YouTube membership thing. I think that would have been a much better opportunity, much easier for a lot of people to sort of get as well, because yeah, not everybody sort of understands exactly how sort of these sort of like something like Bear TV. You have to go to a website, for example. You have to do all that kind of stuff. It's not quite as simple as going onto YouTube and doing it like that. But hey, I don't know what the rules yet. So if you are trying to watch the game, that is how you can watch it. Yeah, those are the only two broadcasts: SuperSport and Bears TV. So yeah, if you don't have either, you're not gonna be able to watch the game, but you will be able to watch or we will be able to experience what we can give you. And that is, we're going to give you live commentary. We're going to give you some updates. We're going to have a live scorecard. We're going to have debate. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. You know, that's what we do here at Forever Sports, is we have fun. We have fun. And if you don't like to have fun, well, then we don't need you. You know, we only want fun people here. This is a house of fun. But yeah, so we've got a poll running, and I can see 27 people have voted, so very slow. Let's get voting, people. Kickoff was at 9:30 South African time, Davey. So we've got, I can probably bring up that timer actually. Maybe I should. No, it probably won't look good. 22 minutes to kick off is the official countdown timer. That is operating. I need to try and bring it onto the screen. I'm just thinking about that actually. Chris saying Rusty must reel it in. Enough is enough. In order for us to make it to get his full value as coach, he must take a step back on Twitter. Well, I think he's gonna have to now, isn't he? I've done very well. Yeah, I've ended up with 2 water bottles of water. I'm moving here. Yeah, so I think he's gonna have to rate it at the end of the day, because otherwise he's gonna miss the World Cup if he doesn't be careful. So. Yeah, but you're going to try not... I'm not saying we're not going to talk about it. We'll try and avoid Rusty about it. Let's just try and focus on the rugby tonight, shall we? We've got a whole bunch of youngsters representing their country, and that should be the main focus, shouldn't it be? At the end of the day, tonight should be about checking to see if Rick van Wyk is in fact going to be the next great outside centre. You know, that's what we are... that's what we're here to watch, aren't we? And if you're not here to watch that, then I don't know what you're here to watch for. There's some guy called Sasha Faber in KwaZulu. I don't know, some Stormers player. Japan is quite good. We're going to wait and see. I'm in for the Lions player. I think Johnny Lombard better than KwaZulu. Faber in KwaZulu. That's just standard. I am joking. Let's relax. Just make sure we're all okay here. And yeah, we're almost ready to go. So yeah, well, that's why is this not working? Hey, work! Come on, work. We will unfortunately not have a tracker tonight either, which is very frustrating. But yeah, our data provider is not covering the game, and I think that's probably due to the fact that very few people are. So yeah, so the data provider isn't going to have that be covered, which is annoying. It's very annoying, but can't do anything about it. But we will still obviously have a live score one way or another. We will make sure there is a live score operating, and we will do our best to make sure that you guys can consume the game in the closest to showing the game as we can get. So this is your next best bet. If you can't watch the game, then that's why we do this channel. That's why we've got you. You know, we've got you covered. If you can't watch the game, this is the next best thing. And if you don't like it, what can I do? What can I do? I can't do much more than that. You know, you're either going to appreciate it and you're going to get bored, or I can't. But let's talk about the game, shall we? People, put some questions in the chat. Let's get talking. And also, a very big shout out. I think that's important to do the shout outs now. A big shout out to ExpressVPN and BetCoza, who are powering the stream. Now, BetCoza and VPN, ExpressVPN, are making it easier than ever to make your alternation series as much fun as possible. First of all, ExpressVPN are making it easier than ever to watch rugby throughout the world. We've got a guide up on how to watch the matches this weekend, for example, on using ExpressVPN on Amazon Prime. Even for tonight, for example, it is a cheaper way that you can want to go get Best TV. You know, using ExpressVPN, if you are in South Africa, that's the best way you can watch this action. Fortunately, there's no free-to-air broadcaster, which are showing the game, which is very frustrating, but yeah, it is what it is. Obviously, you know, Bears TV are using this opportunity for them to really go and maximize their offering, basically. The next thing is BetCoza want to give you guys free money. I mean, who doesn't want free flipping money? It's amazing how many people don't want free money. So BetCoza are giving you guys, they're giving away free bets at the end of the day. That's what we're doing. We're going to give away free bets. But in order for us to give away free bets, you've got to go and you've got to go and predict the score. So I'm going to be going through these score predictions here. So I'm going to put a link in the description, and you need to go and give me your prediction. I'm going to even make this the pin comment. Go and give me your prediction for this match, and we'll give you guys free bets. It's very simple. So, for example, Alma has gone South Africa A by 12, and right now, in fact, I'm going to, as the first person tonight to give a prediction, I'm going to give Alma a 50 Rand free bet. Alma, I don't know if you're watching, but you got a 50 Rand free bet. That's coming to your way. Courtesy of Betcoza, you are got a 50 Rand free bet. Go and put it. We'll be in a bit of a betting preview tomorrow. I'm not sure I'd back my my predictions because they often go a bit haywire. But Alma, put that 50 Rand to use. Go and win yourself some money. Go and win yourself some beer money, some December, some January funds. You know, that's what we're doing. And if you would like to win some free bets, then go and predict. And I'm not seeing enough people predict it. You know, I need people going and telling me that South Africa are going to pump Bristol. I want to see those naysayers who are reckoning that Bristol are going to take SAA. You know, these are the people I want to see. I want to call people out for their predictions. You know, and then I'm going to give them free bets. So it's kind of a win-win situation, really. You don't really lose, do you? You get a bit of exposure here, part of the banter, and then we give you a free bet to say thanks for trying, but better luck next time. You know what I'm saying? There we go. I don't know if you do, but if you don't, unlucky. If you do, lekker. We are 18 minutes away from kickoff. And you can see it, some comments are here. So, Yana V says, tired of Rusty antics, put it to rest, unnecessary distraction. Chris saying, excited to see how Sasha performs here. Lombard, let's go. I'm very much on the Lombard train. Choo-choo. Let's focus on today's game, 100%. Leonie saying, SA 35-12. That's fantastic, Leonie, but go and put that in the link in the description so I can give you a free bet if that comes true, because if that is true, you'll get a 200 Rand free bet. We give a 200 Rand free bet to the closest prediction. And that's a lot of money. You know, you put 200 Rand on, and you're going to find a little accumulator and find yourself some 5 odds. You can win $1,000, and you haven't even lost anything. And $1,000 these days can almost buy you half a tank of petrol in South Africa. I mean, these are the phenomenal things about it. Russell saying SA 32-18 from Bristol. Zara's going, I've got the Bears to win. So there we go. It's the first person really backing Bristol. Tabiso's going for SA 42-6. To Bristol, so very much going big on SAA. Betcoza do not have this game as far as I understand, but they will have obviously all the weekend action, and I reckon there's a money to be won. I reckon there's going to be a couple. I reckon the handicaps could operate this weekend, because I think there are going to be a couple of close games. But where did I want to go? I want to go to rugby. Oh no, we do have betting for tonight. Oh, there we go. I speak under correction. Bad Stephen. So, here we go. So, South Africa is at 1.16 to win. Bristol at 4.75 to win, by the way. So, you know, if, for example, if you go and put $100 on Bristol, you can make that into almost 500. I'm actually going to put some money down. Watch out. What are we putting money down here, people? Somebody give me a bet to put on here. The handicap, for example, is South Africa minus 12.5. Bristol at plus 12.5. I think that's not a bad bet, actually. You know, total team points, we've got South Africa at over 35.5 at 1.83. Yeah, I'm not convinced about that, must admit. So, as I said, if you're backing Bristol, there's some very nice odds for you on Betcoza. Go and get yourself a Betcoza account right now, and let's what do you reckon? Where should Steve be putting some money down? Yeah, the link in the description to go and sign up for Betcoza. Go and get yourself an account. We can't give you a free bet if you don't have an account, and I'm trying to decide where I'm gonna put some money on here. I mean, match winner, I don't know. Bristol's not gonna do it. I mean, a draw 29 is not gonna happen either. So I'm looking at the handicaps here. South Africa to beat them at 12.5 points. Bristol to be within 12.5 points at 1.9. That's kind of my fancy. You know, I think this could be a closer game. But having said that, if I back it not to be a close game, it probably won't be a close game. You know, I've kind of got that luck at the moment. So hopefully luck will turn. Yeah. So Bears won the All Blacks. So decent shot. Left is saying 28-7 to South Africa. And Jan HB going Bristol 27, SA 23. The second person going for Bristol. Russell saying, I'm tired of hearing how much the coach and players have learned and experienced over the last week. Now we can please see the experience and lessons learning coming through on the field. 100%. Although I do find it a bit harsh because a lot of players and stuff, like, it always makes me laugh. Like, you put out a press conference, everybody's like, stop talking to the media, just go and do it in the field. And like, the coaches don't want to be there. They don't want to be giving media press conferences. It's like the last thing they want to be doing. It's kind of they have to. So you can't be angry at the coaches for giving a media conference, which they have to do. Steve says, any idea what's going on with Trev? 0 game time so far. One of he's carrying an injury. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with good old Treyeza. My favorite player. We just haven't seen him. Also think he's the GOAT. So yeah, pity. But hopefully, I still think he's be a big part of the World Cup next year. Maybe he's like our secret weapon. So still trying to decide where I'm going to put. I mean, do I back South Africa at minus 12.5? Are South Africa? You guys tell me. Are South Africa going to win by more than 12.5 points? Is that feasible? Are we backing that idea? Do we think so, or do we think that Bristol will be within 12.5? It's a big swing there, eh? Bristol 12.5 is the bigger bet. I mean, it's 1.9 odds there. But I do reckon. I reckon I've got a gut feeling we win tonight. The question is, do we win, or do we win? You know, like, it's going to be a big win. So I'm going to think about it. And while I think about it, I'm going to show you guys what the starting lineup is. Unfortunately, we had a bit of an issue exporting the bench. I can't show you the bench. I can tell you what the bench is, but I can't show you the bench. But I can show you the starting lineup. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the starting lineup, and then we'll discuss it when we get back. And as the kickoff is in 14 minutes, plenty of time for you to get yourself your beverages, get yourself your streams working, and get yourself some snacks. I mean, it's 9:30. I mean, some people eat dinner at like 6, so you must be starving. I ate dinner about half an hour ago, so I'm chilling. But yeah, this is the starting lineup that we'll be taking on the Bristol Bears in 13 minutes. Right, so there is your starting 15 for the SAA. And obviously, you know, for me, I'm in my Lions boys. Johnny Lombard at 15, Nambo off the bench, Hickover and Baker at 13. Those are the real goats in this lineup. But yeah, genuinely, very interesting opportunity here for certain players. Very young players, the likes of Hartzenberg, you know, Sasha Fame Ngoma Zulu, Andrew Fenter, very young prospect. No, just Weber, for example, this tonight, he went to go join the Springbok squad and was on standby in case Malcolm Marx was not past fit. And so, yeah, that's why we will not be seeing any of Joseph Weber tonight. And, you know, all I want to do is I just want to find somebody that's actually covering this match so I can get my team list nice and sorted so that I can... Annoying at the lack of people covering this. But what can you do? What can you do? And that's not much. But our poll is over 124 votes. A lot of people backing the South Africa. You'll be pleased to know, people, I really backed our boys. I really backed the buggers. You know, I went with the 12.5. So yeah, I went with SA to win by 12.5 points or more. So back them to get the job done. Every now and again you gotta just back the buggers. And I backed the buggers. Now the buggers got to deliver and win me some money. You know, I need some beer money. I'm gonna go buy beer tomorrow night. And the question is my beer on me or is my beer on the SAA buggers? And that's the thing. You know, Shirley's Dealer Stick and the chaps are gonna deliver me a beer. I've earned it. I feel like I've earned it. It's been a long week. You know, I mean, Rassi Erasmus also needs a few beers. So what else are you gonna do this weekend? Not much is the question, because he's not going to be at the stadium. So man's on holiday. He's not actually just. He's actually pulled off a worldie. He really has. He's literally gotten SA Rugby to go and fly him to Italy. He then gets banned, so he can't go to the stadium. So the man's on holiday. Man's holidaying out there. What a genius! I should do that. Go and get myself a trip there, then get banned from doing what I was actually supposed to be doing. Say, well, it's not my fault. I mean, it kind of is. But what are you going to do? And then I'll just go on holiday, and we move. So yeah, I'm supposed to be getting everything sorted, everything ready as the kickoff is about 8 minutes time, so we should have hopefully crossover quite quickly. Russell saying, yeah, you're right, because the SA by 12.5 is definitely feasible. We've got the firepower. There's no doubt about the firepower. The question is, can we put it all together tonight and get it right? Pretender saying, I hope to try Hendricks gets a shot at wing. Grant Williams could push Hendricks over for the scrum spot for England. If he has a storm of a game, he could play. Get a great opportunity at Barkley level. And Zara saying, hope Henko gets the ball. I agree. We got to give the game plan should just be give Henko and Vake the ball and let him cook. Same as like Johnny Lombard. Just give Johnny Lombard the ball. Yeah, X. But yeah, in terms of goal kicking, I imagine Fame Zulu will take the goal kicking. Johnny Lombard is an option though for that. Cornel Hendricks inside centre should be quite a lot of fun. A very nice, very balanced loose trio. Mark of the Star, for example, I think somebody who's very much worthy of looking out for tonight. I'm just trying to get all my teams and stuff all sorted. Then we'll be ready to go. And we'll close that poll just before. A couple of people are bringing in their bets, but not enough. Come people. I've seen bets. I'm seeing predictions go down in the comments, but you've got to visit the link in the description and in the chat. Go give me your predictions so you've got your details. I can't give you guys free bets if you're not giving me your details. I need to know where to send that free bet. I'm going to give you guys free money, but you got to make it easy for me to do it. At the moment, you're not making it very easy for me to do it. But let's look at the Bristol Bears side, shall we? A couple of nice players. So in the front row, we've got Jan Thomas, Brian Byrne, and Max Laheef. Keep an eye out for him, by the way. He's a very good player to watch. Joe Joyce will captain the side next to Joe Batley in the second row. Magnus Bradbury, very big Magnus Bradbury fan. Next to Jack Heenan and Fitz Harding is the loose trio. Will Porter partners Callum Sheedy. Very accomplished flower half in the 10 jersey. Your back three for Bristol is Gabriel Ibatoyi, Diego Bailey, and Luke Morahan. And then you've got Sam Bedler and Piers O'Connor in the midfield. Your referee tonight, by the way, because it's on the screen, is Gianluca Ganecci from the 30-year-old from Brescia, Italy. And he's been assisted by Ben Breaksplayer and Reece Jones. TMO today will be Ian Davies. But yeah, Callum Sheedy's 15-time capped for Wales. So a good player there. You've then got off the bench for Bristol Bears, Harry Thacker, Jake Wilmore, Jonathan Ben Solomon as the front row replacement, John Hawkins, Sam Lewis, and Andy Ewan, Joe Jenkins, and Rich Lane. And yeah, so it's a decent Bristol side, but Bristol are not having a particularly good season. They're currently sitting in second last. So definitely had better seasons and starts to the Premiership time. But they're a decent club that have had many good years, so it will still be a stiff task. There we go. We finally sort of crossed over here, Good to see what's cooking over there. Looking at our Timo, I'm enjoying that team. They've got Ngomazulu and Famo and Ngomazulu. Come now, people, you got to get with the times. Ngomazulu was literally so last, man. Come now, get with the times, yeah, people. He's changed. Bum, 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 bum. Right, I got a couple of flags out there. It's not particularly full. Bristol playing in blue, and I really like this SAA kit. I'd actually buy this kit probably before a Bark jersey. I think it's really cool. We don't seem to have any audio. There are fireworks going off. There's a drone. There's a little girl wearing, there's a woman in a red dress who seems to be she's going to sing something. I'm not quite sure what we're singing. Do we sing the the English national anthem? What do we go with? Are we singing the South African national anthem? I'm not entirely sure. I'm seeing people with beer over there. Good on you, Lokes. I'm seeing an interesting mullet. Not sure that's really for you, mate, but you do you. And we are almost ready for kickoff. So we're going to end the vote as we get kickoff. So 166 people. Let's see if we can get up to 200 people voting for the result. And as again, I want to see more people predicting. A couple of people. Nobody in the predictions, by the way, on the online predictions where you can win free bets. We're going with Bristol. So I'm enjoying that energy. Let's keep that energy up. We will be giving away a 100 Rand free bet at the first drinks break, and we'll be giving away free bets throughout the evening. So make sure you go and give us. I mean, she's belting out something, but we can't hear anything. Is it just soft for me, or like? I think it's the South African national anthem. I don't know. I can't actually hear. Grant Williams is looking very stone-faced. I wouldn't even know if it is the South African national anthem. Is anybody else singing? What's going on here, lads? Yeah, it is our national anthem currently going. Yes, you seem to have issues with the sound. I'm not hearing anything coming out of there. So if you're watching on DSTV, let me know if I'm the only one who's struggling with sound, or if there is in fact a problem across the board. I do think it is a problem across the board. I don't think it's just especially to me. But please do smash like on the video, by the way. We've got 153 people watching and just 22 likes, which is a pretty poor conversion rate. Like, I'd like to get to 50 likes. So whilst we sing the national anthem, and Thomas Toy, who's leading the side, eyes closed, getting ready there, please start smashing that like button. I want to see how quickly we can get up to 50. And 3, 2, 1. Like. Some South African expats over there showing their support. Good on you, mates. They're not actually expats. I'm just assuming. You should never assume either. But yeah, so let's get those likes up to 50. I mean, I see some people getting involved there. I would like to see more people getting involved. Try and get those likes up to 50. And let's try and get as many people into the stream as possible. Let's get the chat going here, people. Yeah, Cornel Hendricks is ready for it, lad. Look at that. Look what it meant to him. I don't think to be fair, I don't think he ever thought he would be seeing the national anthem in South African colours again. So pretty emotional, I must imagine, for Cornel Hendricks, who must have very much thought at one stage his rugby career was done, let alone playing for the Bulls, let alone going and playing for South Africa, even if it is for the A side. Right, God save our king occurring around the stadium. And then we will have kickoff. It is 1 minute kickoff in theory, so pretty much should be on time. And I hope that my scoreboard does work. It is a bit of an issue, seeing as our usual data provider is not during the game, which doesn't help. It's not really helping me. So that's why I can't show the tracker, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, we are going to try and do our best to make sure that our scoreboard is working. So I'm going to bring it up and we wait to see if there's been a commentary coming. Hello, Owen. And you've got Owen and Piers Brosnan from the sounds of it. Right, so just waiting. So hopefully the scoreboard updates just fine. That's the hope. I cannot guarantee it. Also, I'm going to try and see if we can get a clock going, but again, not sure what the coverage we're going to be able to get is. And as I say, I'm sorry, people. I do try very hard to make sure this all works. But if they're not, if the data providers aren't doing it, we don't have any stats. There's not much we can do. So we will start our own clock, and we'll see if we can keep it updated. Right, Sasha Fabian Gomez-Zulu gets us underway. We kick down towards the right-hand side. And a big chase coming from Suman Hartzenberg, who's putting pressure on. Good work there. I'm just going to make sure our scoreboard is all working. Manual scoreboard, we're going to put on the timer. There it is. Bang. Okay, cool. That is the timer there, just slightly behind. And early kick to head. I still don't seem to have any sounds. So we're not going to get much help from there. But it's a good touch final from Bristol. So the first set piece, the first clears, they're coming from Will Porter, the Bristol Bears scrum half. We're going to end that poll. So you guys are locked and loaded. 212 people have voted. And everybody's backing SAA to do the job. So let's now wait and see. First set piece for SAA. Andrew Hugo Fenter getting some instructions from Instituto and Ngunu. And look out for Jason Jenkins, Ruan Okia. Those are probably the two obvious candidates. It does go to Ruan Okia. This is a pretty terrible camera angle. This is going to be all we're going to get. This is going to be a long, long game. I mean, I feel like we're about 45 kilometers away from this bloody game. So Grant Williams goes to Cornel Hendricks. Cornel Hendricks cuts on the inside. Two men need to take him. Now, Grant is looking for a quick ball. Pops it up to his captain, Thomas the Toy. Yeah, it looks like we've only got one camera working. So don't expect too much. It's Tukunu. Spinning away from one. Carrying strong. Now Grant Williams going to goes himself. Inside ball there. So Jason Jenkins, good hands there from Ruan Okia. Good continuity this for South Africa. Now Johnny Lombard. That's a bit of a poor pass. Cornel Hendricks going back and cleaning up. Under a bit of pressure. There's penalty advantage for South Africa though. Lombard barking instructions. He's not very happy. I think there was supposed to be a structure or people involved there, which didn't seem to line up from his point of view. So he was not happy with that. Yeah, hopefully the camera work will improve. If you are looking to watch the game, check out the description. So he will be taking the points. Fabian Gomez-Zulu's call for his kicking tee, and he will be on kicking duty tonight as expected. The youngster, 20 years of age, played for the SA Under-20, captain of the SA Under-20s earlier this year. And hopefully SAA trying to get their points tally underway nice and early here. Right, let's see what Sasha can do. Looks pretty good. Heads down, straight down the middle. So SAA get the points rolling in the 3rd minute with a 3-pointer courtesy of Sasha Fainberg Gomez-Zulu. I don't think we saw a replay there. I don't know if we're going to have replays tonight, people. This could be very limited coverage. So the main question is, though, is our scoreboard going to work? That is a very large question that we need answered very quickly. Because I'm not seeing an update over there, which means we might have to do this manually. Strong restart there, and Bristol have won it back from the kickoff, though. Bit of a fumble there coming from Shidi. And another knockout, this time coming from Gabriel Ibotoya. And a penalty, in fact. I think it's for offside. So a penalty for SAA. So despite making a bit of a botch of the kickoff, they will have possession. Be able to kick themselves into Bristol Bears territory and get going once again. And yeah, it's not looking good for my last scoring, is it? Let me see if I can find us a scoreboard. I can do this in the meantime. Yeah, so 3-0 is how it stands after about 4 minutes. And it's flicking a lot. This is not boding well yet, people. Right, Andrew Hugo Fenter, the youngster. Does find Albert Lowe on the way up. So looking to reset the rolling more here. Fenter controlling things at the back. Grant Williams is pointing at something. I think he wants to now. It does break for Andrew Hugo Fenter. Ball available for Grant Williams. Giving it to Cornel Hendricks. Strong carry from the inside centre. And untidy there. No, Mr. Rep, but you were in the way. It's a bit annoying. It's a knock-on against South Africa A because Grant Williams couldn't pick up the ball because the referee was in the way. I would have called a scrum for South Africa, but yeah, so there's a knock-on. So it'll be a scrum for Bristol. First scrum of the day. Be strong scrum at the moment. Well, I'd love to say what's going on, but we keep getting cut out here. So it's a long ball towards Johnny Lombard. Johnny Lombard looking to run, looking to go himself. He's a little bit very isolated. In fact, he's very isolated. Malcolm Staden getting him back there to help out. So good work there from Staden. If this is going to keep going black every 5 seconds, I think a lot of people are going to be demanding their money back. And a penalty for Bristol. Didn't get to see what happened because it went blank. So it's a bit annoying here so far. They must admit the TV coverage probably been the worst part of the game. And Jason Jenkins seems to have been penalised. Again, we don't see any replays. So right, so Bristol now just inside the 22. The line will be fed by Brian Byrne. And that's a penalty for... Well, I think it's not straight as the course, so it'll be a scrum. A turnover ball here for SAA. The crowd not agreeing, apparently. We can't actually really hear the crowd. Right, so we have scrum just inside SAA territory. We've got the full width of the left-hand side there. If we want to try and run it out to the 22, we'd be surprised if we do. Otherwise, the usual option would be for Sasha Feinberg obviously to just kick this downfield. Reminder of the loose trio: Albert Lowe on the right-hand side, Mark Verstappen on the left there, and you've then got Jean-Luc Dupré, not Dan Dupré at 8th man. It is Jean-Luc. Grant Williams looking for the ball, gives it across to Feinberg Gomezulu, who's in the pocket, and he won't find touch. It'll stay just inside. So Morin will carry this up here. Simon Hartzenberg there, but he's been wrapped up by with Femi Gomezulu as well. They're trying to hold him up, but eventually they do get him down to ground to Bristol. So good work from them. And not going anywhere. More was called apparently, so that's really good defensive work there by Hartzenberg and Femi Gomezulu. So turnover ball. Wow, so far SAA up to a great start. Can't do much wrong here, to be honest. Right, it's another scrum here. This one a bit further down the field, so we might have a bit more license to have a go. Once again, Grant is looking to use it. And it's a fumble from Hartzenberg. It's not a great pass, but it should have probably been picked up by the youngsters. So Grant Williams asking the question whether their numbers were offside was giving me a lot of hassle at the scrum time, and they're going to go to Hartzenberg off the back of the scrum, but you're not forward. So a bit of a messy game so far, not much continuity. Another scrum in the first 10 minutes here, so I'm going to have to... No, my clock's actually still right, which is interesting, given the fact that we have had a few stoppages. Right, so Porter with ball in hand, he will feed the scrum. This time our defensive scrum for SAA. Scrums been pretty solid, not much give on either side. And Magnus Bradbury trying to get that ball back. Now it's available. And I think it has been dropped again. No. So Porter has managed to gather that and take it in. Sheedy now helping in at scrum half. Now rush defense coming here. Andrew Hugo Fenter making the tackle. Grant Williams everywhere as well. Grant Williams getting over that ball. But available. Bristol going down the left-hand side here. The ball does fall towards Ebatoya. Now Porter going himself, but Jason Jacobs not out the danger. Grant Williams as well around there. Now back to Sheedy. Sheedy lifts it high in the air. It will be a tester here for Leon Zas. And the ball comes loose and it falls inside of Bristol. Important tackle being made there by Lombard. Bristol retaining possession. Now working their way inside. Good quick ball this year from Bristol. But rush defense here coming from South Africa. Ball over the top to Batoya. Good tackle there on Fabian Ngobazulu. That is one of the big reasons that he has been brought into the squad. And a turnover penalty. I think it was Henk van Beek making the turnover there for another penalty for SA. This is pretty good, by the way. Pretty good start here from the lads. Toya has already been quite involved so far as the Bristol wing. Bit of a break and play. We're going to have a water... I mean, surely it's not a water break. It's been 12 minutes. No ways are we seeing a water break after 12 minutes. This is ridiculous. You know, maybe, as much as... maybe we should be worried less about banning coaches and more about banning water breaks. This is ridiculous. I cannot believe we're actually in a water break here. There is an injury here, but still, I mean, geez, to be calling a bloody water break, this is ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. But, sorry, let me say that there is a replacement here. I think it's the captain, Joe Joyce. We do resume with the lineup though. Andrew Hugo Fenter up to Mark Verstappen breaks off the park. Corey Hendricks coming back on the angle. Quick recycle needed here. Grant Williams going to Fabian Ngobazulu, lifts it high in the air. Very Springbok tactics this. Leon Zas is chasing hard. It's well weighted as well. Leon Zas misses out. But Henk van Beek putting a lot of pressure on the Bristol players there. Bristol paid back inside their own 22. Now the return, and then Bristol do find touch from the boot of Porter. So, yeah, we're already seeing very much the Springbok patterns, aren't we? You know, we've seen them go for the up and under here. We've seen that rush defense coming as we see some more couple blackouts. This is not looking good from the World P point of view. But so far, the set pieces look pretty good. So Andrew Hugo Fenter will be quite chuffed with that. He's nailed all his line jumpers so far. But now we've got line inside the Bristol territory. What can we do with it? They go to the back and they go straight over the top. Bristol do get their first really good take. Good work there by Fitzharding. Now they're looking to go wide. Stop going black and my screen's black. Who knows what's bloody going on? Useless bunch. Oh, they're carrying the midfield shares. We're still flickering. Now with a space in behind. The kick comes in and Lombard allows to bounce. Managing to keep it in. Goes inside to Simon Hartzenberg. He's hit hard in the tackle, but there is support. So SAA should retain possession. Yeah, and a lot of pressure at the breakdown though. Grant Williams needs to get this ball out here. Well, it has been turned over. Well, I'm not quite sure how, but it's been turned over from the looks of it. Betoya now. Pick up and good. There's a break here. Desperate tackle. They're coming from Ruan Nokia, Flaming Zulu. Oh, it's a big hit from Jason Jenkins on Fitzharding. Goodness me. No, man, he's brought that. So once again, more scrum offs buying penalties. We'll go back for the penalty there. And it was Ruan Nokia who was retreating. And yeah, I think Will Porter just very deliberately running into him and then claiming he is an offside position. But we've seen that quite a lot actually. Scrum offs sort of very much understand and very much know they can avoid these players. But why would you avoid him when you can run into him or pass it into him and then claim a free penalty in a very kickable position? So despite their dominance, it will look like Bristol Bears will settle the... we're going to have a TMO here. Maybe there's no replays. How are we going to do a TMO? Oh, now we've got replays. Looking for potential head clash here from Jason Jenkins. This is literally the first replay we've had all game. Good to know the technology is working. Yeah, we're still trying to figure out how this all works. Just to be brutally honest, I reckon I could have created a bit of production with my webcam so far. I don't even know what we're looking at here. I'm assuming we're supposed to be looking at the hit from Jason Jenkins, where there was head-on-head collision. But yeah, who knows? Now we're just looking at random replays. It's going very well, yeah, Oaks. Can we just decide what's cooking here? Now we're busy watching people like in slow motion, waiting for the TMO screen. I mean, I think Jason Jenkins is going to get away with this by virtue of the fact that they don't know how to get the technology working, so they're not going to be able to check. It's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Time off, by the way. So the time is sitting on 15:01. Just change that. Yeah, listen, chaps. If the technology's not working, technology's not working. Let's move on. Yeah, we can't be spending the next half an hour waiting for them to work out how the replay system works. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. No, we're going to continue waiting. This is really fun. This is exactly how I like to spend my evenings. Waiting on people working out how to work out the replay system so that we can go back and check something, which by now happened about 20 minutes ago. Bit of an exaggeration, but not that much, I feel. Oh, chaps, we don't have it. Like, this is ridiculous. This might be the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Or actually, the most ridiculous thing I'm not seeing. Goodness me. Anyway, any comments over here? What are we saying here? The fact that this game is so heavily exclusive annoys the crap out of me. Busy traveling, I was gutted that I'm in the game. Doesn't sound like I'm missing much. Well, you know, you could be missing much if we actually ever start playing the game again. You know, this is great. This is now we finally worked out. So we're having a look here. Now there's big groans. The problem is we don't have an alternate angle. We've only got one angle of this entire bloody incident. A bit difficult to make decisions on where's the one angle, isn't it? Oh my god, now we're going to look at the other angle, which we know doesn't have it. Oh my goodness, this is insane. This is the wrong incident. We're still trying to find this replay, by the way. This is really good. And we've played 15 minutes. We're now almost 25 minutes after kickoff, and we've been literally waiting for about 5 minutes on trying to find this replay. Our such player trying to watch it. Yeah, he's been good. He's kicked nice. He's made a nice tackle. Nice up and under as well. So far, pretty good start from him. Not another red card, well, who knows? Michelle Facade said primary school can put together better production than this. I don't think it'd be difficult to put together production with this. I mean, it's so blurry. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Chaps, this is now getting like, we're actually now entering the realms of insanity here. We found another angle now, people. We found another angle. This is a different incident. Or was this the lead up? I actually don't know. It's been so. No, I think it will be a good angle. Wait for it. Somebody's found the controls. Somebody's come in and said, listen, I know what I'm doing here. We seem to have found another angle. Will we see a decent picture? It's all getting a bit blurry all of a sudden. No, the cameraman has missed it. He has missed it. This is good. The cameraman's missed the incident. This is ridiculous. Dear. Mysterio said the competence from a top level club, they should know how the technology works. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. I mean, surely you can't make a decision based on that. Oh, they're going to give a yellow card. Yeah, so Jason Jacobs has gone to the bin. It kind of looked like head. I mean, see, the annoying thing is, to be honest, it was head-on-head collision. Why is it only a yellow? That was just the most ludicrous thing I've seen ever. We're down to 14 men, though. This is going well. Right, so we are down to 14 men. That's not a good look. Jason Jacobs in the bin. Sammy is saying, might as well just ask the crowd if someone took a video. I mean, literally, we're at that stage now. Probably would have been better as well. And Sheedy does land the 3. And they have equalized. Right, 3 points apiece. It's 25 minutes into what the game should be, and yet 15, basically 60 minutes of the game, because we had to wait for 10 minutes for them to decide what that was going to be. The end result was a yellow card to Jason Jenkins. Not that they're showing it on their scoreboard. My score's better than yours. Anyway, the restart comes from Sasha Feinberg and Gomazu down the right inside. Another good chase there for Hartzenberg. And it looks like Albert Lowe's over there trying to win the ball there. And I think we might have actually turned this. It almost like somebody's going for a counter back. No, it is available for Will Porter at the back. Porter's got plenty of time here. He'll just roll this back and go and try and find touch. And does find touch. And Lombard's got no issue letting it bounce. So we will have a line on the 10-meter line inside Bristol territory. However, we are down a man, which means the one less line out, or one fewer line out to jumper, rather. What are we saying here, people? What are we saying? Vic's saying it's as if they have 3 cameras in the stadium. So what was the effects? It looks like shoulder-to-head contact in the tackle. That's kind of what the blurry looked like. Why is Westy banned? He does the right stuff because he's posting videos about referees on Twitter. Right, we're not here at the top of the lineup there. Right, so we start. I mean, we also don't know how when this. So they 15 minutes, 25 minutes. The yellow card will be back. There's no time before there. Once it's the call check, Grant Williams needs to go and try and get this ball out. It is. He get it out. Goes to Cornel Hendricks once again. Cornel Hendricks is about 3rd or 4th carry so far. Grant Williams popping it up to Andre Hugo Fenter. Harding there, working hard in defense. Now Grant Williams going to Thomas Toy, the captain. Met hard the tackle by the replacement, by the way. Number 19, John Hawkins is on for Joe Joyce, who was the captain. Femi Gonzulu goes himself. Penalty advantage as well for the looks of it, for I think it offside. Now they go to Henk van Wyk. His first carry of the day. Met well on the tackle by 2 defenders. Grant Williams going back on the inside to Outlow, popping up to Femi Gonzulu, going into Tuka Mkunu. Ah, look at the step on Mkunu. Gets over the advantage line. Quick ball needed check. Grant Williams going to Femi Gonzulu. Inside ball. Very good take there from Jean-Luc Duprier. And no advantage, so we're going to go back for the penalty, and this could very well be 6 points to 3 for the SAA lads. Nice continuity there. I mean, I don't know why, but there's not much atmosphere coming. I don't know if it's just the lack of any crowd noise coming from the TV. Maybe it's because it's like 10 o'clock in the evening, but I'm not. Where's my atmosphere? And Thomas Toy does point to the pole, so he will take the 3 points. That is the plan. Right, so Femi Gonzulu with line up a second attempt. Pretty straight. It's probably about 35 yards out, maybe. And is my clock right? Yeah, more or less. So there's nobody got a live score. I hate updating the clock. I'm so bad at it. It's another good kick from Femi Gonzulu. Right, so we do move up. Sorry, I was supposed to be. This is what I'm saying. Now I got to do a manual scoreboard. Become A's. Wait. I think I can sort ourselves a scoreboard here. Right, restart there coming from Sheedy, and it's a good take under the high ball there from Johnny Lombard on the run. Now Thomas the Toy, strong carry from him. Right, we're going to attempt to add a new scoreboard, which will update itself. So bear with me for a few minutes whilst we try a good chase there coming from Leland Zass, putting pressure on Luke Morahan there. But Bristol Duke still have it. Will Porter decides to go short. Good defense there from Jean-Luc Duprier and Ruan Nokia. Now Will Porter goes to the boot. And Fabian Gomezulu misses out, and it's fallen to Joe Batley. But he's still going. Does anybody want to bring him down? Well, Albert Lowe eventually brings him down. They're 5 meters out here, Bristol, but turnover ball. But no, he offers it back to Bristol. It's like an offering. Like, I'm sorry. Rush defense. Henk van Wyk putting on a lot of pressure. Running the hands here, Fitzharding. Big tackle needed inside. Good tackle made by Fabian Gomezulu, and they'll band him up for touch. Really good work there. Really good work there, lads. Good. So we saw a bit of the saw a bit of the Springbok defense there. Rush defense coming from Henko van Veek, and then Sasha completing the tackle there. So good work all around by the lads. Right, I am busy sorting us out a new scoreboard, which is hopefully going to update nice and automatically, and going to mean I don't have to worry too much about doing it, which is going to make my life a lot easier. So just bear with me in that, and it'll make your guys' life experience better as well, because it'll update when I forget to update it. So just let me sort that out. It's a good lineup there from starting being met in the midfield. Right, Grant Williams from the base of the ruck. Oh, it's been charged down and the ball is going to go out. Thankfully, goodness me, that wouldn't have been a good moment there from Grant Williams. 3 minutes left on the yellow card, just by the way, in case you are wondering. And it's Batley again, the man who made the initial break, who's putting the pressure there on Grant Williams. And I've even managed to find a sort of clock, by the way. It's not a completely live clock, but it's as good as we'll get. So watch this space. Let me just get this all sorted, and then we'll be ready to go. Okay, so we don't find touch there. Obviously from the restart, and it's Lombard sorry, Fabian Gomezulu pops it up to Grant Williams. Grant Williams going a bit of a snipe. He's been reeled in well. Pops it up to Intutuko Kunu, who gives it to Johnny Lombard. Lombard decides to go to the boot, kicks it downfield. Kick chase coming from himself, being led by himself, but Bristol do reply with the up and under as well. This will be now Fabian Gomezulu underneath the high ball once again. He fumbles it backwards, but Hartzenberg is there to clean up. Hartzenberg under a bit of pressure, but there is a couple of forwards around him, so they should be able to protect him. Right, and we're pretty much ready for our... Aha! There we go. There we go. As they go wide. Oh no! I looked over my back for 2 seconds. Inside ball. And Heenan's come up just short. Bristol on 5 meters out. Big tackle coming there from Jean-Luc Dupré. Good work there. Big defense needed from SAA here. But Albert Lowe gets over that. That should be a penalty. Easy as you like. Albert Lowe, take a bow. Marco Verstappen was there. You know, who's the what? Saying he's not supported. Not so sure about that. And they're going to be taking the 3 point. Thomas Toy wants to have a word about that. He's not convinced. A couple of comments saying, and Kuno just shake the earth when he changed direction. Michelle Verstappen saying, Ashton Gate officials to own and command and Braz, here's your comment positions. Oh, but this is the last week was terrible. Yeah, it was dreadful. It says Grant Williams is a running 9. I don't like his kicking. Unfortunately, you've got to have a kicking 9. And Sheedy will level things. Right, 6 points each after the first... see, this says now 31, which is actually wrong. So I'm actually going to remove that. We're going to have to go back to our manual. You know, really, I thought we were... okay, we're going to have to go back to my manual clock. Because we are about 25 minutes, 12 seconds. That clock is not correct. Now I'm going to have to put that clock back up. This is all fun and games, isn't it, people? Right, there's the clock. That's the clock. I'll keep that going, but the scoreboard should update by itself, hopefully. Right, restart Chef and Payment Gomezulu. We'll probably go down the right hand side. That has been the preference with Hartzenberg chasing hard, and that continues to be the case. But they go to Kiribayoto. And so carry now. Porter's got plenty of time to bring this ball back and find touch. Looking for distance rather than touch, and bounce just ahead of Johnny Lombard. Gives inside to his fly half. Puts in the high in the air for Lombard to chase. Lombard's trying to get there, but there's a lot of traffic. So, but they do let the ball bounce. Porter under pressure, goes inside. And Grant Williams missed the tackle, and eventually the tackle is made by Thomas Toy. After Hugo Fenter going over there, trying to jackal it. But penalty for no release. So a couple of back-to-back penalties. Discipline lacking at the moment for SAA. So pretty, yeah, it's just not, I mean, after what is a reasonable start, just not really coming together at the moment for the SAA team. So work to do, work to do. And a messy line up there, and I think it's a penalty, I think it's a knock-on advantage for SAA. So he will go back for the scrum. Bit of a messy game, to be perfectly honest. Not much flow to it. It'd be nice to have a bit more ball in hand and see what Buzz can do. So let's see what we could do with the back of the scrum here. Grant Williams ball in hand. And Jenkins is back on, so I can move that yellow card. Lots happening here. Right, so we're back to a full contingent. And now let's see what we can do with it. That's a big scrum coming, but we're coming up, so the referee will have a reset. And it's taking a while for the scoreboard to update. Why can't I have nice things? Like, why is there not a scoreboard that's on it? So, you're telling me I've got to refresh. You're telling me it doesn't auto-refresh. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Goodness me, I'm going to have to refresh it every single time. I suppose it's better than clicking. I might as well then click the damn thing. We're having lots of technical issues here, people. But we will pioneer. Still scrum for SAA just inside Bristol territory on the right-hand side. Got most of the width towards the left to play with. It looked like a pretty solid scrum there from the SAA. Looked like they definitely had dominance in that hit. Now looking a bit more solid there. And Grant Williams continuously to pick up the ball. Now he decides to go to the blind side. He has been caught though, because he did slip it a little bit, but he skirts away from two. Needs somebody to... the ball pops up, it goes to Jason Jenkins, goes to Andre Hugo Fenter. Strong carry from him with support from Ruan Nokia. Now Grant Williams back on his feet and ready to continue his duties. They go back to Femi Gomezulu, who goes high in the air. This looks like it might go a little bit fast, so Leland's that's going to have to make a big chase in there. It does get marked. Taking quickly now. And Morahan kicks it downfield where Lombard and Femi Gomezulu is waiting. Femi Gomezulu goes to the boot. Lombard chases, but once again going very deep and won't make this contestable at all. So Morahan just gives it inside. And Porter now going on his own. Brought down by Malcolm Stardom. He gets the ball, pops the ball up to, I think it's Jack Ian. And penalty there for going over with his feet. Yeah, two kicks just too far there from Gomezulu. You know, it's as I said, it's usually all right to go up. But it's got to be accurate, you know, and that one just wasn't. Hey, Bruce and G's harsh penalty, no influence on clean ball for Bristol. Right, but Bristol is now on the 22, or are now on the 22 rather. My English has left me. It is late, to be fair. I feel like I can be excused at 10 past 10. So, yeah, I mean, it's just being started with the ball at the moment, SA. Not really being able to touch it. The scores are level as we enter the last 10 minutes of the first half. Now, Gomazulu was sat down a little bit there, but Jason Jenkins completing the tackle. Now, Heck and Vacancy and Hartzenberg making the tackle. Inside ball. Another carry from Joe Batley, who has carried hard so far. Good hands here, and they've got an overlap. Lombard makes the tackle, but the ball inside. Oh my goodness, Bristol are over. Bristol are over, and it is Ibatoye who is, look, he smacks the badge, and that was just a horrible lapse in defense. Well, Gabriel Ibatoye has scored. This is not going well, people. Not going well at all. My bet's not looking very good when I said SAA about 12.5. The scoreboard hasn't updated. I don't know if they want to check it or not. I don't know if we're going to see a replay either. You know, it seems like we've got no replays unless they ask. We are going to see a replay. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a couple of good offloads. They saw the space. Pop up there. So, I think they're seeing to see if Johnny Lombard does complete the tackle. No, it's a good offload inside. And Jean-Luc Dupré has been wrong-footed. Yeah, that's a really poor try to concede, if we're being brutally honest here, lads. Not quite good enough. Not quite good enough. And Bristol have the first score of the match, and they've added the extra 2. So, chaps, you have to come from behind. People not guilty of not marking their men. So, Sheedy 3 from 3 so far. I have to refresh my scoreboard. Right, restart once again towards the right-hand side. This time it's just high in the air. And pressure from Hartzenberg. And Ruan Okia tried to get over that, but it was well defended in the end by Bristol. Will Porter dragging a few blockers for himself so he can get his box kick away. Keeps it pretty short. And does fine touch. It's much better touch final from him. It's further on the 10 meter, which is where we usually have been setting up. So it's half between the 10 meter and the halfway line. Now this is an attacking opportunity here, guys. This is an attacking opportunity. This is an attacking set piece. Let's use it. You know, let's go forth and get ourselves into good positions. And then convert to points. That's our biggest problem, isn't it? So a bit of a conference here between Kunu and Andre Hugo Fenter. Good run, a flat ball there from Gomazulu. Mark starting to hit hard in the midfield though. Grant Williams goes to Fabian Gomazulu. Goes to Hartzenberg, very lateral at the moment, and passes bulleted to Leon Zas, who from a standing start makes a meter or 2. But actually back inside our own half. Good pick up there from Hugo Fenter. Short ball there from Fabian Gomazulu to Tuko Kunu. Now back to Fabian Gomazulu. Back to Cornel Hendricks. Still a bit of a dummy. Gets through a couple of lines, but then loses the ball forward. The first reasonable sign of a decent attack, and we lost the ball. So turnover ball. Try score Batoya. Where with the Grant Williams bringing him down. Now the replacement there from Joe Hawkins. Now kick at the top for Sheedy. There's no one there. Johnny Lombard. Sorry, it's Fabian Gomazulu comes in to clean up. Under a lot of pressure, needs some support from the men. Everybody does eventually get back, and we do have possession now. Grant Williams digging for the ball. I'm sure he'll be going back to Johnny Lombard, who's in the pocket. Not the best pass to him. And Lombard just lifting it high in the air, giving it some time for people to get back. But the ball is allowed to bounce. There is space down the right-hand side as well. But Morahan is brought down. Good tackle there being made by Jean-Luc Dupré. Thomas Latoya as well. Appreciation of the law. Getting over. And catching Will Porter on the ball. Now the ball goes back to, I think it's Hawkins actually. Ball goes high into the air towards the left-hand side. Ibatoya is chasing. Really nice good take out of the air from Johnny Lombard. That's another good take. He's been very good in the air so far, has Lombard. Grant Williams is now going to return the favour from the looks of it. Ask for a couple of blockers. And soon Hartzenberg will be expected to chase here, as will Ruan Okia. Well, no one really sort of chasing. That Sheedy gets free inside to Hawkins. Hawkins, his kick is charged down there by Ruan Okia, who slipped, and Hawkins has still not managed to gather it. So under a bit of pressure, Hickman bakes up there, as is Marco van Staden. Good pressure being put here now on Bristol. Big counter-attack coming in now from the SAA. But the ball is available for Bristol. Good charge down. Good intensity there from Ruan Nokia. And Henk van Beek, Mark Verstappen doing well to get up quickly. And the slow ball here from Porter. He goes short. Now will Porter bring it towards the back of the rack. We'll have a bit of opportunity for him to. And we'll find touch. Yeah, it's decent touch finder. Yeah, at the moment, it's not too much structure. You know, we saw a couple of phases there. The kick from, to be honest, the kick wasn't actually terrible from Grant Williams. There just wasn't much of a chase. Hartzenberg just didn't really seem interested in it. Ruan Nokia was going after it and then threw his hands up, which is what where the charge down came from. But, yeah, I'd like to see a bit more intensity here, a bit more desire. Good take there from Grant Williams. Wasn't the best ball down from Nokia. Flat from Fabian Gomez. Strong hit there from Marco van Staden. Good go forward ball. Now Grant Williams going to the boot. Now Leon Zas goes out. The ball does bounce. Hartzenberg and Ulrich Loh. Ruan Nokia also over there. So SAA really going to that sort of that. We see it quite often across World Rugby where that's out 22. Oh, a bit of a. Oh, this has gone. I think this will be grounded out. This will be a 5-meter scrum, actually. And this is where the tactic can work. So we did go with the boot, and a lot of people will be sighing, but a big chase put them under a lot of pressure. A mistake there at the breakdown, and they've had to ground it after carrying it over. So it will be a 5-meter attacking scrum. And I can tell you right now, this will be a situation where Thomas Toy is saying to Grant Williams, you are not taking this ball out. I intend on walking over this try line here. Right, big scrum needed. Come, lads. Big scrum needed. And we'll have a reset here. Come on, lads. Big scrum needed. Big scrum here. It's gone down. And it's a penalty to SAA. Grant Williams thinking about taking it quickly. He does have to consult with his tight-head captain, who, if I'm him, was going to ask for another scrum. Scrum, Thomas. Scrum, lad. We're going to tap and go here. Thomas Toy on him. Jean-Luc Dupree as an option. You got Marco Verstappen as an option as well. Thomas Toy does take it himself. Solid carry from him. Now Marco Verstappen will be the next one up, you'd imagine. It does go to Marco Verstappen. And he's almost over. Is he over? Need to recycle this ball. R&B, this is really not a good time for an ad here. Ball is available. Slow ball. Yeah, Ruan Nokia is there. But he pops it up to Ulrich Loh. No, it's not Ulrich Loh. I think it's Andre Hugo Fenter. It's a good tackle there. Now ball's up to Grant Williams. Williams goes to Marco Verstappen. Marco Verstappen comes from the inside, loses the ball forward. That is amateur hour. Amateur hour. Marco Verstappen. And why are you calling for the ball when you're isolated? You're by yourself as well. Even if you've been tackled, there's nobody else there. Oh, it's annoying. It's annoying. And that is halftime. Halftime score 13 points to 6. That was really annoying because we really had to score from there, to be honest. It was poor not to. So halftime score was 13 points to 6. My best not looking good, you lads. It's not looking good at all. But we will return for the second half. Hopefully the TV crew will also have a bit of a debrief and try and improve their operation because it's been a bit poor so far. But yeah, so we'll see you guys after the break. Go get your beverages and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a little bit. And we are back. Hello, everybody. And halftime score here at Ashton Gate, 13 points to 6 in favor of Bristol Bears. Not a good half for the South Africa A side, who it's getting frustrating now. Not accurate and not good enough, to be honest. And a lot of players, we're just not seeing, a lot from and some of the senior players need to stand up. There have been some decent moments, but the kicking game has been very inaccurate. And I think accuracy has probably been the biggest the difference between over here. When Bristol have had the opportunities, for example, that try coming from Gabriel Ibatoye, they took the opportunities, and we're just not taking opportunities. Just before half time, going in, winning that penalty, tap and go, mark of a start, and knocking it on. It's too many basic errors that are being made here. The lack of accuracy is really, really costing this side. So that needs to improve. But we do have kickoff for the second half, and SAA, another good take from your horrible pass there from Lombard. And Suleiman Hartzenberg has been bundled into touch. And he's saying that he needs to have been let go. So he shouldn't have been bundled into touch. So I think it actually will be a penalty. Yeah, it will be a penalty for SAA because he was saying that his knees got to the ground and then they bundled him to touch, which is not legal. But anyway, what are we saying here? So SATs have proven that Christian was the missing ingredient. The only second game team, I think the scoreline performance is accurately reflected. Greg say missing ingredient is brains on the field. Our guys don't have them, and coaching is appalling. I mean, we don't even know what. As I said, you could have the best coach staff in the world, and they could still. At the end of the day, if people kick badly, people kick badly. But seriously, I think they're breaking okay. Messed up mentally. Coaching individual players, part of my record, no sense of a team here. Well, I think it's always going to be a bit of off. It's always going to take a while for a system to start working. So, yeah, but I think at the moment it's an accuracy thing. To be honest, I don't think that. I don't think the idea has necessarily been wrong, but the execution has been really poor. But this is a really good rolling maul. The Andre Hugo is right up against touchline. He's come inside. He does come inside. We've gone and found about 20 meters, by the way, with this rolling maul. Grant Williams does use the ghost of Fame Zulu, whose cross kick is charged down. And Hartzenberg has to come and... oh, my living. That's a horrendous kick. It's gone straight through the legs of Johnny Lombard. Leon Zas is trying to help out here. They go down the blind side, kick ahead. And that's actually worked out very nicely because it will be an SAA line. Goodness me. Sasha Fame Zulu's cross kick charged down there. Then Leon Zas trying to come inside. Suleiman Hartzenberg tried to clear under pressure, and his kick was dreadful. He basically just plastered straight at Johnny Lombard. He didn't stand much of a chance, but yeah, I think what we just saw there is two young players panicking a bit, and that'll happen at that age. But anyway, back to the set piece. Go to the Bruno here. It's a nice win. The question is, can we get another good more like we did just for then? And a penalty for SAA for collapsing the maul. So that's a nice opportunity for us to kick further downfield. What just happened there? Did we just try to kick into touch and landed like 20 meters in field? Anyway, Lombard, that's a better kick, and that'll be contestable. And Grant Williams comes away with it much better. Inside ball to Andrew Hugo Fenter. Oh, that's going to be a forward pass. Just take contact, Oaks. You are allowed to do that. It would also be really nice if we had replay so we could see what the hell's going on here. I mean, it's a much better kick from Lombard. It goes up. Grant Williams regathers, pops it up to Andrew Hugo Fenter, who's trying to throw the miracle offload in the tackle, loses it forward. I mean, just calm down, people. You don't have to go from 0 to 100 every single time. Right, Johan Klussen is on. The question is who's he on for? Johnny Lombard. You know. So Johan Klussen's gone back to fullback. Why take off Lombard? He hasn't had the best moments, but he's been far from flipping terrible. Big scrum there, but Bristol do go down the short side. Long kick ahead to Johan Klussen, his first touch. Now Klussen just sort of returns the favour. Territory not so much contestable. Now the torpedo coming in. Leonzas lets that bounce, so Johan Klussen retreats. He's got time in his hand as Johan Klussen. Still looking for touch. Now inside ball to the try scorer. He gets around Jace Jenkins. Trying to get around Marco Verstappen. He's sucked in Cornel Hendricks. There's a big overlap here. Cornel Hendricks does get across to make the tackle. And Bristol just outside 22, go down the short side. Decent tackle there by Ntutukunu, but Bristol getting over the advantage line. Now Sheedy. A lot of runners up over here. Leons does come quickly. And the long ball outside. Ball has gone loose. Good work there by, it looks like another Dupria there. Is another Dupria on? Nice tackle there by Marco starting quick up the line, as well as good work from Jason Jenkins. So force Bristol back to the halfway line. Porter, good hands here from then Fitzharding, being brought down by Albert Lowe. We need a bit more of that from Marco Verstappen, and a penalty there again, and it's Marco Verstappen. One of the few guys who's kind of stepping up here in the second half and actually taking the game on. Now, Fabian Gomezulu finds touch. I was trying to work out if he was the one that took that kick touch earlier. If it was Lombard. I don't know why it would be Lombard, but it was Fabian Gomezulu that got there first. You know, it'll be nice, as I said, a couple of replays would be would be a bit of a game changer in trying to watch this clash. Yeah, the DVD production has left a lot to be desired, unfortunately. But we persevere. We persevere. Right, Fenter goes to Norkia. It's a nice, good lineup. The Moors have looked very good, certainly in the second half. Trying to set this one up here now. Fenter working hard to try and sprint off down the right-hand side. Grant Williams is there to take the ball if needed. He will look to take the ball now. He goes to corner Hendricks. He goes to Fabian Gomezulu. Oh, there's so much space, Sasha! Goes himself. Grant Williams goes to Albert Lowe. It's a nice solid carry by him. There was so much space here. Johan Klussen was begging for the ball. Oh, it's a line break into Tukum. Nkunu is over. Well, there we go. Nkunu's the one. He's the difference. He half a gap there. Grant Williams popping up into Tukum. Nkunu has taken the space brilliantly, and he's gone over. We needed that. It's a little something out of nothing, because that was... Yeah, we needed to score from that. Because I think, unfortunately, Fabian Gomezulu, they butchered that one a little bit. I think there was a big overlap if we had gone over the top. And it's Nkunu. The lethal sidestep. He's played well tonight, actually, as Intutuko. I'm a living. Who's that? He's left behind. It's a good awareness by Grant Williams. They come around the corner. Nice little angle by Nkunu, but nice little awareness there from Grant Williams. So the timing of the pop was perfect. Good work there. We hit back. Well done. Well done, boys. Now, Fabian Gomezulu will look to add the extras and level up the scores. $13-11, and if you manage to nail this, then we'll move to 13 all. He doesn't, unfortunately, so we will be 13-11 down. So score remains at 13 points to 11 in favor of Bristol Bears, but down to a 2-point deficit and a try, which is a nice nice moment there. What is everybody saying here? So Cornell saying good try. Anthony saying Cornell's been our best player so far, 100%. Was it an earth-shattering sidestep? No, he just found a good. He just ran a good line, to be honest. Jan says stage may be too big for the youngsters. And he thinks I remember they were playing Bristol Bears being snarky. Sasha's overrated, says Jaden Philander. I think he's overrated. I just think he's young, and we're seeing the youngsters. We're seeing what issues a young player can sort of have at this level sometimes. Yeah, give it Vake. They're trying to jackal that ball there. Somebody needs to make this tackle, yeah. Albert Lowe is trying to rip that ball in the tackle. Peanut's not running away, though. Probably a good moment, Chef, for Bristol just to slow things down. Oh, they're going to take the 3 points here, trying to extend that lead to 5 points. Dan says, forwards working, backs just haven't really clicked at the moment. Contender saying, who's going to play tight head since Inyakana and Cock will be unavailable since they play in France? No, Cock actually is available. It's because, as far as I understand, I don't think he is going. So he is currently a free agent. So the flags are up though. Kanashidi adds the extra, so 16 points to 11. It's a 5-point game. Bit frustrating after finally getting back into the game that we then concede points there. And our struggles continue, unfortunately, as SAA. Bears have won one of their last 5 games. Our upper-came box are losing to them. It's embarrassing, says Wayne. SAA getting beaten again, this time by a team of semi-pros. I mean, they're not a team of semi-pros, but sure. Interesting to call Callum Sheedy a 15 cap Welsh international a semi-pro, but hey. That's another good exit from Will Porter. He's actually kicked very well from the base. Senko playing, can't watch it fortunately. Right, we are about to see a whole bunch of substitutions here. Here comes Dan Duprier, as well as Sikomoze Noche, as well as Pepsi Buthelezi. So who's going off here? It looks like Albert Lowe is departing. It looks like Marco van Staden is departing. It looks like Jason Jenkins is departing. So looks like Dan Duprier will go into lock. And yeah, Pepsi and Sukimo's not on as well. So it's a decent ship there for Marco van Staden. Albert Lowe a little bit quiet, but not too bad. Jason Jenkins, the yellow card, not really sees an opportunity to be back in the box sort of fringes, has he? Right, Johnny Duprier at the front of the lineup there, but it's not straight is the call. So things just not really clicking at the moment. Contender says maybe time to bring on some substitutions, and Gwamazulu has years ahead of him. Unfortunately, tonight hasn't been his night. Yeah, unfortunately, it hasn't. I think this is maybe a bit of a word of caution that we understand how talented he is, but is he ready for this level? No, he's not. He needs time to go and actually work on his game at senior level, at URC level, for example. I need to see something here. Like, somebody needs to put their hand up here. Somebody needs to really like show that they actually want to be there. You know, that they want to put their hand up. Grant Williams once again has shown intent. One of the few players. Hartzenberg unfortunately has been pretty exposed, I think, as he retreats there, and that's a brilliant kick from Sheedy. They found touch on the 5 meter. And it's 50-22 as well. So, yeah, so Hartzenberg's been caught up quite a few times, unfortunately. panicked a little bit earlier with that that kick when he was under pressure. Fabian Gomezulu has had nice moments and also sloppy moments. And Cornel Hendricks has been a one-man battering ram, but hasn't brought Henk van Wyk into the game at all, which is very frustrating because Henk van Wyk is very good on the ball. So you do sort of feel it's a bit of a waste. Looks like Sampiru Mantanzima will be making their way into the park. That was good, yeah, from Bristol, but it's a nice counter shove coming from SA. That's a really good counter shove. Under a lot of pressure. That's really well defended. Obviously, was contesting the ground. Thomas Toy coming with a big counter rack. It is eventually available for Batley. SA need to defend well here. A try here could be, that's a big tackle, a big hit coming there from Dan Dupree. I think was Noche helping him out as well. Now, big counter rack coming, but the ball does pop up. Now, Bruno Kier going in to try and slow things down. The replacement, John Hawkins, who came on quite early for the captain, Joe Joyce. Well, Fabian Gomezulu got up quickly for that tackle, and he's taken a bit of a hit. He's on down to Priya. Once again, it's falling right in front of Fabian Gomezulu, who wanted to try and jackal it, but has missed out. Probably about 6 or 7 phases here so far for Bristol. Pick up and drive. Well made in the defense by Noche and Henk van Wyk with assistance from Ntuko Mkunu. Desperate defense here from SAA. So far, good discipline to be fair. No, not giving any advantage or anything like that. Bristol Bear not really finding too much momentum either. That's a better carry. This could be, oh, but the ball's come loose and it's been turned over. Seeing was Noche coming away with it as well. Now it's Ntuko Mkunu who just sort of takes the hit. And now Grant Williams will have an opportunity to clear this away. Good defensive passage that is, though. That's more like it. That's a bit of heart. That's a bit of intensity. That's a little bit of a drawing line in the sand. You're not going to get us. That kick doesn't find touch, though. That doesn't help us. And it's the try scorer, Ibatoya, who's going into action, eventually brought down. Now they go towards the right-hand side. A lot of space. Tackles being made by the Duprees there. Jean-Luc going over that ball, slowing things down. Now a couple of passes here. Inside, Cornel Hendricks making the tackle. Now Batley's carried very hard so far today. Good tackle being made by Grant Williams, and I think it was Ntuko Mkunu. Now lots of players out. Henk van Wyk comes up quickly, but they get the ball away to Hawkins. Hawkins is sat down in front of Gomezulu. He just sort of managed to take one of his legs, but didn't really manage to bring him down properly. Pick up and go. SA under a lot of pressure here. Another pick up and go. Yeah, lots of pressure here for SAA. Now they're coming really close here, Bristol. Bradbury just short here now. Right up on like literally a meter out here. They're parked on the doorstep. Couple of lazy runners here though, ref. Couple of people just sort of standing up by the ruck here and they're not allowing our pillars and posts to get in position. And they've scored. And they've scored. Yeah, listen guys. The defensive pattern is not coming off here. I think too many players not understanding when to go, when not to go. Missed tackles there. And Bristol are starting to run away with it, actually, to be honest. In what is a shocking performance so far. That's the only way to say it. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. 21 points to 11. Kick to come. Could very well be 23 to 11. Dear. Conversion is good from Sheedy as well. Right, chaps. Anything else on? Any balls or anything? You know, or is anything else to watch? Any good movies on? Anything else I can switch to? What should we do a watch along for? Let's just leave this game and let's go do a watch along of. Is there anything? Is there any other sport? There must be some World Cup friendlies or something on. I mean, really, just stay up. It is 5 to 11. The player ratings, by the way, are going to be absolutely brutal. Deep restart. Hartzenberg making the tackle. That's a bit better from him. He's had a poor last sort of 15 minutes. Right, 21 minutes to go and a lot of points to make up. 12 points is the deficit, so 2 converted tries do get us back, do get us ahead. But we don't really look like scoring now, do we? And there comes the replacement. So, surely, guys, bring on in the Humber, yeah, chaps. Bring on the Humber. Who's 22? We've got... who's that 22? Oh, yeah, we've got 6-2 split. Yeah, so he's 22. Yeah, 6-2 split. Bring on Tanela. Come on. Right, only more here. And JJ Kotz is on. I like JJ Kotz, by the way. I rate him quite highly. We've skipped out Henke Verbeek once again. Johan Husse coming and joining the line. And Leland Zas. This is so painful. Oh, thankfully we had a penalty advantage. Oh, dear. Yeah, it's not been good yet, chaps. It's been a very, it's a very fractured performance once again. But the problem is, so as somebody says, you can't expect a team to gel together. I'm not expecting a team to just understand where everybody are and to play off the cuff and to be like 100%. That's an inside ball from Johan Goosen. How is Leland Zas knocking that on? How? It's literally inside ball, take and run. It's not hard. These are basics. If you can't do basics, you cannot play at this level. These guys are all good enough to be there. Now, do the basics right. Kotze goes over the top. I mean, for God's sake. Counter-attack on here. Leland Zas making the tackle. And Cornel Hendricks winning the penalty. Good work there by Cornel Hendricks. He's kicked it dead. He's kicked it dead. He's going to have another shot here. Yeah. And a free kick for early shove there with Mornay Smith on. Chaps, like this couldn't be going much worse, to be honest. I still think it's very weird to judge a coach on 2 matches. Like that for me is not really making sense. Yes, the teams play badly. Yes, the players are playing pretty badly. Knock on advantage. Go Seeker was a notch here. Now this guy's been taking his opportunity and he gets the offload there, but Leland Zas does knock it forward. To be fair, to come down like a rocket. It is a weird thing though to really judge the coach's credentials and their abilities on this though. Like, for example, it's like when we lost to Wales and we should have then sacked Rassie Erasmus to Jacques Nienaber, then we went on to win a World Cup. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for the coach. I'm just saying, like yes, like we've played badly. Let's not suddenly now decide that all 4 coaches just don't have a future. You know, for example, one of their coaches is Bafana Ntleku, who was undefeated as an SCN 20 coach. It's pretty good as a coach, but the buggers are unfortunately buckling. And a penalty this time at the scrums. This is going well. See, again, you know, let's look at the last 10 minutes, shall we? JJ Kotzer throwing the ball over the top. Leon Zas knocking it on. 2 scrum penalties from front rows engaging early. Sasha and Zulu kicking it out in the full. Those are individual errors. You know, you're not going to blame a coach for kicking the ball out in the full. And so yeah, it's we've gotten it horribly wrong, and you do wonder if maybe they should have sort of almost found like a hybrid. Because the problem is that they've got an SAA team and they've gone and said you guys need to learn how to play like Springboks. Therefore, you're going to play like Springboks, and we all know how well. We all know how long it took for the Boks to really be able to implement their game plan. So it's not a 2-minute thing as the replacement hooker, Harry Thacker, breaks away. No, I think that's Andy Uren is on. Puts under it, taking it, and does he mark it? Assume so. He should start to go down. Penalty for obstruction. You see, now like that is just a player error. That is just bad to say you can judge stock of his matches and the lack of backline play in the Springboks. It's going to really kill you when I say he's like backline coach, isn't it? Anyway, so then Hammer's on for Grant Williams, who had moments, but wasn't quite the same caliber as it was last week. So the SAAT's played midweek games, have really played well. Simon says, what are the coaches supposed to do exactly? Agree they are individual errors, but due to pressure, due to the wrong game plan. How are the cameras and camera angles used in the best comp in England? They're shocking. I don't imagine this is the usual coverage. I speak under correction, but I think this has been done internally by Bristol Bears. Anyway, they're going to take the 3 points here and pretty much try and wrap up this game. 26 points to 11. You don't really see the SAA coming back from this. But I don't think there are any players that have played tonight who have put themselves up for selection. I think that's I don't put it this way. If you're a Springbok player and you're sitting in Italy right now and you're worried about your place in the squad, I think you're watching this game not worrying at all. I think you're watching this game going, sweet, I don't need to stress. I'm very happy here, and no one's really coming for me anytime soon, because it's been that ordinary. Oh, speaking of ordinary, that's a horrible knock on. Now this game's just going to shit. Huh? Where's the knock on? It went straight through his hands. Please, can we please see a replay from that? There's no ways that went backwards. Off the kick. No ways. It wasn't facing backwards. It went oh, come on. Right, Kotzer finds his line out this time. Gives a little stuff, JJ. Nandahamba goes to Hendricks. Oh, that's a good line by Sukmoze Noche. He is one of the few people who I think stocks have actually risen. And I was one of the, and I said I wasn't sure he should deserve to be picked, despite me being a big fan of. Nohamba's flat to Henk van Wyk. Henk van Wyk working hard in the tackle. It's probably his first carry all evening. Now we're popping up to Piwa Mantanzima. Yeah, good stuff, Sanele. Offside there, Pepsi Buthelezi. Surely must be penalty advantage here, Mr. Ref. Number going to Dupree, popping up to his brother. Nice strong carry this time by Dan. Penalty advantage here as well. Now this time to Jean-Luc. Femi Gomez go himself, popping up to Hickman Vake. Just short, thought about the grounding, but decided not to do it. Now Dan Dupree pick up and go, and Dan Dupree's over. I think. What was their whistle? Why? We've gone back for the penalty. What was wrong with that? You know, again, we can't even see a replay to understand why. Why was the try just... What happened there? Yeah, well, value water break. Right, what's the plan here, chaps? Apart from score 3 tries. 3 converted tries in 11 minutes. The only good thing about the A side is this jersey. I think that's pretty much that's basically what we've kind of come to terms with. That the only real sort of win is we got to see this jersey a couple more times. I need to get it actually. Maybe it's cursed, but I mean this is the same jersey that the SC Under-20s were doing so well in. So can it really be cursed? No, we've got to play him leaving the park here. Trying to work out who it is. Can we zoom in to see who it is? Is this Femi Gomezulu's going off? I think it is, you know. Oh, can we just look at the sodding player? Yeah, so there we go. And what did I say? What did I say? What did I say with taking young players early? What did I say? So Sasha Feinberg Gomezulu has gone over there. He picked up a knock in training, and now he's limping off the field. Well, he's been carried off the field with what could be a long-term injury. Shock! He's 20 years old and has hardly played at this level, and now he's injured. Ugh! Why do we do it time and time and time again? Right, so Joey Lombard is back on the park. And at fly half. That's a big scrum. That's a... What? Nah, come now, man. Absolutely decimated the scrum, and we've been given a penalty for walking in and around. Right, well, now we wait and see what the extent of Femi Ngomazulu's injury will be. And yeah, but either way, we are defending now in the last 9 minutes. So we are back. We are still at full contingent though. Johnny Longwood has come out, so predicting they reckon it might have been a head clash as well. But straight into touch, so they have given the possession back. Come on, lads. At the very least, can we just score one nice try? Just like finish things off in a bit of a flurry. Like just one. I'm not asking for like 3 tries. Just one nice try. Good take. Ah! Knock on. This is so amateur. It is so amateur. So to turn over the ball. Oh my living. That is a large. That's a nice mistake. Oh my living. Oh, this just call the game. Just call the game. I've never seen so many like unforced errors in the space of 3 minutes. I mean, like there. Cornell Hendricks picks up the ball, bounces somebody off, and then just drops it. Now it's a scrum. What are we saying, you people? Of course, I can't believe I paid for this. Yeah, Shane, imagine paying for this. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really sorry if you did pay for this game. Like, I truly apologize. People just asked me where to watch it, so I told you. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Should we have some fun? Should we have some fun? Here's the player ratings link. Go and rate the players. Might as well have a bit of fun, shall we? Because this has been a night to forget, I think is the polite way of saying it. The good news is the Box will be better this weekend. The real good news is that on Saturday we're 1 week away from seeing the Lions play again. That is good news. Oh, that's a lost line out. Yo, this just doesn't get any worse, does it? Oh, and the intercept has been knocked on by Jan Goosen. Shocking. Oh my living people, this has been painful. Yeah, again, and that's what I'm saying. Like, 100% game plan could be wrong. How many freaking handling errors are we gonna have today? And like, that's what's really annoyed me. If you can get it, if the game plan's wrong or you're struggling to execute the game plan or whatever, fine, cool. Coaches, take it. You know, you didn't get these guys playing. But these guys are just dropping the ball like it's going out of fashion. I mean, it's like people don't even want to hold on the ball. Have you ever seen a hot potato rugby match? This is 80 minutes of hot potato. I don't actually want to hold this ball. Just down. It is the most ludicrous thing. I've never seen such an error-ridden performance from a pro side. Like, it's ridiculously bad. Hey, penalty. Let's go. Run the field. Just go. Just don't kick it. Just tap and go. Let's just do it. Just stop being boring. I'm going to make a referee video. Might as well. Not that he's been bad or anything. I'm just not. It's the thing to do. Oh, my living. And then Judge Cott said, thankfully they knock it on because she's thrown it over the top of the line out. Penalty advantage, Nahamba pops it up. That's a nice line being run by Sikabos Noche is like one of the few oaks that's actually rocked up and says, you know what? I'll actually play. I'll actually play. And that's another knock on. Da, da, dee, da. This is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Terrible. Yeah, I think the play rate is going to be pretty brutal, to be honest. Pretty brutal. It could get ugly. It could get very ugly. Ref, just call it. Just put us out of our misery. Like, I don't need to watch this anymore. You can just call it. I don't need to watch the scrum that we're probably going to, like, knock on. Ah. Big scrum coming there from Sir. That's got to be a penalty. Mr. Ref. I mean, Pepsi Bootleg. Oh, the ball's come loose. Who wants it? Oh, not Yay! Well, he's one of the few players who's really stepped up. And credit to him. He's deserved that. He's deserved it. As I said, he's one of the few people who has... And we've drop kicked it over. Oh, good news, by the way. There is... I can actually go back to my original. I can even do a tracker for you guys for the last 2 minutes. You want the tracker? I don't think we really need one, do we? Not much point, is there? I mean, that's how bad this. Even my data provider didn't feel like doing the game. There's your, yeah, the scoreboard's back at least. Right, so can we score one more try? 26 to 25, or at least read a bit better. Jan Husten steps on the inside. I mean, we've had a lot of fly-offs today that just haven't really felt like passing, to be honest. Lombard, that's a bit better. To Corner Hendricks. Pass the ball, Cornell! Sakes. He's made a few meters there, but I mean, you've had an overlap. And the ball's come loose, and Bristol Bears has turned it over. Knock on. I think Cornell had a bit of a word with the referee there. And that's a free kick to SA. Well, they've kicked it out. They put it out of misery. Final score, 26 points to 18. Woeful. That's the only way to describe it. Absolutely woeful. An opportunity for a lot of these players to put in performances, to put their hand up for further selection. And I just don't think any of them really took it, to be honest. Apart from maybe like a Sukamusa Noche, who tried hard. Nokia tried hard, but yeah, that's not a good performance. We will be at the player ratings in about 10 minutes time. So we'll have some fun rating them there. So we'll see you guys that side. And yeah, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel on the way out, as we do try and get ourselves towards 22,000 subscribers. Thank you very much for joining me for what was a very frustrating evening. I'll see you guys at the player ratings in a little bit. Please do smash like.